Ring, ring, ring. Hello, simps. And
Elsa dumped.
And also virgins, rude. Welcome back to Krown's magical and sexy Suggestion Cave.
Hey, she's the one responsible for the dump right now. Get her! Anyways, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. I still cannot hear out of one of my ears, but it's all good because I might see a doctor today. So with that said, we got plenty to talk about as Bitcoin, of course, does what? Does a good old dance of death right here, hitting our downside targets, based off of the breakage of that $59,000 low. No bounces in sight until then, however, and very, very rough early morning for many out there, of which hopefully we can talk about many areas, or not many areas, but many things that correlate with a couple of specific areas here that I am looking for on a major low, perhaps even a macro low, if Boolah Jesus does so bless us. So with that said, I would like to wish you the best and the happiest as always. And man, this feels so weird when I really can't hear that well out of one of my ears. I'm going to turn off the alerts for right now, and let's get into it right on over here with Krown Chain application, which can be found at app.krownchain.net. And by the way, it is for the price of $0.0, or might as well be free. Anyways, what do we see? We do see Fear and Greed Index still at a 50 read. I think that hasn't updated yet because that should be in the 30s, I do believe, with current metrics. Bitcoin dominance also at about a 43.25%, and we see something very, very interesting going on right now. We see several altcoins that are actually acting relatively strong when Bitcoin is essentially doing the old dumparoo, and several altcoins are also getting absolutely fucking boo-caked. So I do believe that we are starting to see a bit more maturation or bifurcation within this market, in the sense that we do see that many of the altcoins that are maybe colloquially called shit coins not operating all that well, as you would expect. And then a lot of the strong ones, like AVAX, for example, are absolutely killing it right now. Or I wouldn't say absolutely killing it, but doing relatively well, more importantly. So we are seeing more maturation of this market, which is a good thing over time. This is very, very different than what we saw in 2017, 2018, actually. Anyways, as far as the top 10 best coins go, I imagine Decentraland is there. It is there. Voyager Token, the Sandbox, Engine Coin, Arweave, Zcash. Oh, dear Lord. That's not a good sign. Wax, OMG Network, and Unis, all with some decent gains right there. More or less, what's it called? What is the words that are coming out of my mouth right now? Where are these words coming from? No, it's concentrated. That's the word that I'm looking for. More or less concentrated in the top 5 right there. Anyways, I see a lot of people in here right now. I also see a lot of likes on this video already. Holy shit, there's 1,000 people already up in the early morning hours. My lord, what are you doing with your life? I am the only weirdo who wakes up at 5 a.m. But I want to say thank you for all the likes on this video, and thank you for joining on in. It's going to be a fun day today because there's plenty to talk about, and there's plenty to actually prepare for on this next week to come, and also for today's closure, because this obviously is going to be the Friday closure and the weekly closure for CME, and going to base off a lot of the next week and week after that price action. Anyways, see J3F over there, Mission Control. What's up, man? Good to see you, my friend. Mr. Filson, I always see you, my friend. Lambo Rambo, nice name. Burnt Creme, there he is. John Dude, good morning to you. Neil, good morning as well. Mind Evo, welcome back, sir. BG, Yasek, and who else do we have? We got Jack, there he is. Holy fucking moly, man. It's going to be a good day today. It is going to be a good day today. However, that does not mean that price action is going to have a good day, but a good day for traders, as traders can obviously take advantage of this. Oh, by the way, on that topic, okay, a couple things. First things first, I need to warn everyone out there on Instagram, there is someone who, for some reason, has, I guess, tried to impersonate, or is trying to impersonate me with my personal Instagram account, messaging people, giving them DMs and all that good stuff. Look, I have no interest in trading anyone else's account other than mine, and I don't have any like personal or I don't know, client fund. I don't know what the fuck they're telling people. Like they have like some sort of fund that they'll trade for you, and you just give them 1 Ethereum and they'll give you back 10, some shit like that. Look, if it's too good to be true, or if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's certainly not me. And while I don't necessarily know for a fact that that person is a scammer, probably is a fucking scam. Anyways, also on the topic of that, Femex is offering up some pretty ridiculous deposit bonuses right now. I always want to say with this, look, if you are not already successful with trading, or if you're just learning, do not leverage trade. Do not even bother taking this deal, because obviously they're offering it up so that they can get you on their exchange and then basically rinse you of your cash as you do continually, go into the market and essentially pay them by doing your market orders. More importantly, if you are already profitable, then perhaps yes, consider it, because they are just essentially handing out free money. I think the deposit bonus is like, I don't know, I need to check my notes over here. It's like 3,600 or 4,000, whatever the fuck it is. You know, if you can be a Robinhood to yourself, be a Robinhood to yourself, or consider it. If you're not already there though, do not fucking do it. They're obviously only offering that up because they're probably going to end up on the winning side. Obviously. Anyways, okay, so let's get in the market data tab over here. And of course, that link is in the description for you as well. And it also does actually shave some off your own trading fees. So actually is kind of a good deal. But again, you know, don't fucking jump into leverage trading right now if you're not already there. Anyways, okay, so yes, what do we see over here in the market data tab? Several things that are actually going on right now of particular interest. We see the global leverage ratio is actually ticked up yet again. How does that happen when the global open interest ratio is actually coming down? Or sorry, not the ratio, but the global open interest, just the raw number, the raw data is actually coming down right there, as you can see off of our current all-time high from like 16.5 billion now down to about 14.37 billion. So a little bit more than 2 billion leverage positions coming off this market right now. Well, what would that imply? That implies that people are taking their coins off of exchanges. That's the only way in this scenario that that the leverage ratio could actually technically go up. So with that in mind, that does imply that people are using this pullback or crash, whatever you want to call it, as I wouldn't necessarily call it a crash just yet. Hey, crash for Bitcoin land is like 30% or more. We're getting there, but not quite there just yet. But several big accounts are using this to accumulate. Now, just because people are using this to accumulate, does that mean that we're automatically going to bottom exactly where we're at right now? Probably not. No, of course. You know, you buy into weakness and you sell into strength. That is the name of the game for the actual whales who move this market. That is consistent amongst all major markets that I've actually been a part of, and here is no different in my opinion. Global funding rate has also come down significantly. We've been trending down ever since basically late October, but still, it is actually positive right now. So you are still paying to hodl your longs. Yes, it is a little bit below parity, so it is a little more in favor of shorts here, meaning that shorts are being more aggressive with their market positions. But right now, shorts don't really have too much to worry about. I mean, they're in profit, obviously, and in control at the current moment in time. So with all of that in mind, I think it's time to go in the price of charts right now. And let's start off with the short-term timeframes and follow up from yesterday's short-term timeframe analysis, and also the shorts video that I uploaded yesterday, I think like later in the day for myself. Anyways, what did we see? We saw a break of the blue box territory right here. That invalidated any sort of bounce into, what are you going off of right there? What? Uh-oh. Will you restart the computer? I don't know. Maybe you need to restart the computer then, if that's what it says, or give it a refresh. Just refresh your tab. Elsa's having some issues. She's a bit new to the interweb, so do give her a bit of an excuse right there. Anyways, yes. Okay. So what was the target based off that break? The next target was the bottom end of this blue box territory right here, of which we are just slowly gliding our way into that region at about $55,000. Current low for the day is what, 655. Anywhere within there is fair game for a bit of a short-term low. Now, do I think that things would bottom right here? Well, I'm not necessarily of that opinion just yet, except for maybe a short-term low, which, you know, a short-term low could very easily put in another rally attempt back up to about 59, maybe even $6,000. But right now, Bitcoin is obviously bearish as long as we are below about 61,500. That last pivot that we saw all those rejections at now is going to be rather significant, if you will. Still, though, I would not be calling Bitcoin like a confirmed bear trap, especially as long as below, not necessarily 65,000 bucks now, but about 64,000 bucks in this case, or 63,500 if you want to be super exact. Anyways, what am I looking for in order to denote a little bit of a short-term low? Well, first things first, I want to see no less than at least a couple drives of bullish evidence on 4-hour RSI. Right now, do we have that? No. Do we have it on CME? No, we don't actually, unfortunately. So what's the lowest term time frame that we have any sort of divergence is building up right now? Even the 3-hour is not really there. For CME, spot price action is going to start to put in a little bit right there if we do start to put in a bit of a local low, of which we do see a little bit of short-term bottoming behavior right there. But again, short-term bottoming behavior on a 3-hour time frame is not like, I'm not suggesting that that's going to reverse this thing back onto the fucking moon. Obviously not, just for a short-term move in this case. And of course, all lower time frames underneath 3 hours should have it, naturally speaking, as well. And even the bi-hourly jewel is starting to get in some pretty precarious places. Now, yes, it can be down here a little bit longer, but again, a relief rally, very, very likely. Before like another meltdown, in my opinion. But then again, I said that right on over here, and all that we got was about a $2,000, $3,000 move. So fair enough. You know, Bitcoin is a little bit more on the weaker side, obviously, right now. Anyways, the question is where to look for low, or when low. Well, we've already spoken about when low in the past prior videos, where we did see that around the 20th of the month. If I want to bring it up right here, maybe I just briefly do this, but I don't want to go super deep into this one right now. But basically around the 20th of the month, give or take a day or two, we have seen many highs and lows come in around. If if we go over here, actually, sorry, let me scroll it out right there. There we go. Lovely. But you can see that all these vertical bars essentially represent around that date. And except for one of them, all of them have actually been some pretty major lows, in fact. All of the major lows go in for the past year. So with that in mind, the only one that was the last, which was a high, was actually the last one in October on the 20th, in fact. The one before that was your September 21st lows right there. Yes, Bitcoin did chop around the lows, but did put in a macro low right there. Very important. Of course, where was the one before that? In August right here on the 19th, so a day before the 20th. Again, just a little bit of a range right there before putting in about a $10,000 rally from 44 to 53. Same thing over here on the 20th of July, which was our massive bear trap on the macro scale right there, and did lead up into just a general move from that current low. Anyways, the one before that was your 21st of June for a almost $10,000 rally right there, about $7,000 to $8,000, I believe, but again on a $30,000 number, rather significant. And then of course the one before that was in May on the 19th and 20th, and that did lead into an almost immediate rally of $12,000. Yes, things did slink down over time, but again, a pretty damn good response. Same thing over here. Here's your April lows. Here's your March lows. Here's your this was not February lows, by the way. It was a little bit after that. And here's your January lows on the 21st. And of course, back in December 20th, we did see this nice spike low over here as well, right around Bitcoin's prior all-time high, as it did kind of grind up that level. So we are kind of rapidly coming into that date. Today's the 19th, obviously. And not only do we have that, but we also got the moons, I believe, coming on right here, too. I need to consult with one of the moon witches there to find out exactly what the fuck is going on with these things. But it is rather insane, just for what it's worth. And what I mean by that is, just backtesting this right here for the past year. They've actually been pretty damn good. Again, I don't know how much I stand by that myself, but it does, all I care about is results. And in this case, a bit of, a hit rate a little bit better than about 85 or 88%, I believe it is relevant, and we are about to get the Bula moon if you believe in such things. Anyways, I'm going to put this tab way on over here, and let's focus on things that are a little more tangible for right now as well. And what would that be? Well, let's go over here to Bitcoin. Let's put it on the good old weekly 21. And I want to line up a couple things here. So, of course, everyone's aware of this. I'm sure that this is still the big meme within this market. And what is it? Basically, Bitcoin on a weekly time frame above the yellow 21 exponential average is generally where you expect your bull market dump bolas to come down to. We saw we've seen several cycles with this exact behavior, actually. We can go back to our prior one, our most recent one, I should say, starting in about April 20th right here. You can see that Bitcoin, as long as it was above the 21, and the 21 also had a positive slope, two very important factors. Well, all of the dumps down to there was essentially your weekly higher lows, and that led you into essentially the reversal in May, of course, of which we regained it relatively recently. And where was Bitcoin last major low? It was actually right around that $44,000 level, also around the 21. Again, remains with a positive slope throughout there. Good. Now, what do we see before that? Obviously, to the downside, that is your, general down markets. Same thing over here in 2018, and then several iterations over here in 2015 all the way to 2017, 2018, right? And as soon as it breaks it, bull market, fun times over for a while. And we can do the same thing right on over here, and the same thing right on over here. I won't run you through all of these examples, but I do want to go back to our current price action and show that we are right around at current moment in time at about 52,000 and some odd change, which is in line with Bitcoin's last major high on a weekly basis as well. And those kind of are general general areas that you do look for on a major low, just kind of like from a more textbook standpoint. Now, not only do we have that, but we do actually have bearish divergence going on right here, which is going to be confirmed on CME later today. And, usually after 3 drives off of that, you're going to, at the very least, hit the 21, sometimes even the 55 in these cases. Now, with that in mind, do we have anything else that's kind of suggesting some activity within that region? Well, actually we do, or maybe I shouldn't spoil the surprise, but we do. And what is it right here? If we pull a Fibonacci retracement, what do we see? We see the 618 Fibonacci retracement and the 0.5 kind of overlay between those areas. The 0.5 is actually right at that area, 52,500 or so, and the 618 is about 49,500. And of course, the 382, which we're at about right now, is 56,100. Now, the 382 is where you do expect your pullbacks to come down to in an extremely strong bullish market. Now, we are, at least in my opinion, still in a macro bull market, but I would hold my breath on the 382 actually holding in this one, to be quite honest with you. The 0.5, a big one right there as well, and that one does have good confluence with the yellow 21, so I do like that, and also that last prior major high right there. And of course, based off of this bearish divergence, that technically is, at least my target based off of that. So do I think that Bitcoin comes down around that region and tries for a base? Probably yes. At the very least, I'd be looking for a greater bounce. Could that be like the bounce that everyone's looking for? Perhaps yes. Does it align with our dates over here coming into the 20th to 21st of this month, like maybe over these next few days here into the weekend or early next week? Perhaps yes. If we see something like that, there are a lot of good signals of confluence right there. Not only that, but we also do see over here on our PMARP chart, we are actually getting into similar areas that we did see bottoming behavior in our last major dumpola. And our last major dumpola was where? Was back on over in May, actually. So you can see that we're ever so slightly getting into this region right now. Technically speaking, I do want to see it I do want to see it kind of flash these green bars. That's when it's basically at like the low. Now things can obviously stay there for a while. You do see that it starts to flash on this particular example once Bitcoin really starts to accelerate to the downside. So things can get nasty for one last wash off. But ultimately, it's time to be looking for a bit more of a low and a big bounce, as we get into these regions, traditionally speaking. Not only that, but we do see on CME specifically that we are kind of testing right around the green 55 exponential average as well. So could it be a wick to the downside first and then close back above there? If you see something like that, that would be a good sign of potential low being put in. However, right now, Bitcoin just dancing right around it, and also dancing on the bottom side of the Trojan bands is not what we're looking for just yet, put it that way, or at least not what I'd be looking for just yet if I'm going to be calling like a major low within this case. So other than that, all other higher term timeframes are suggesting, again, at least another drive down. I'll put back on my major moving averages over here so that we can follow up on that. And let's just go through we've already gone through the weekly. Let's go through the 5-day. The 5-day, obviously we already confirmed that bearish divergence on the last closure. And we're just about to test the 55, which is right around $54,000. So very likely another bounce right there as well. Could that be a potential bottom? Potentially, yes. Definitely possible. But, I'd want to see it first. Again, but going over to the buy daily, that is just a meltdown. Whereas the 55, right around $54,000 as well. So I do think that $54,000 is extremely high probability of a decent bounce. Is it going to be the bounce? Well, that's the question right now, I do suppose. So other than that, let's go check out momentum also and see if they're going to be turning around anytime soon on any time frame that actually matters for direction. And no, no, they're not. On the 5-day right here, down as long as we're below about 60,675. If we go over to the 2-day, what do we see right here? We see down as long as below $66,000. And if we go to the daily, it is fresh. It is not freshly down, but it is hard down as long as we're below about 63,500 or so. So those ain't turning around anytime soon. All we have is lower term time frames kind of be hoping and praying on right now if you do want to be looking for the bounce. But even then, on the 4-hour right here, 4-hour Stokes, while they are pretty damn beat up and are working off extreme conditions, and it really wouldn't take too much to get a decent sized bounce from here. Actually won't turn up until we get back above about $57,000 to put things into perspective, of which, again, that's $700 away from where Bitcoin is at right now. In a volatile environment, that ain't all that much, to be fair. 3 hours about the same area as well, 56,800 to be exact. By hourly is going to be showing what? 56,800 right here again. So I do like that as a pivot. We could just say anywhere between about 56,800 and 57,000 bucks would be good enough for a bounce if Bitcoin can start to close back above there. If that starts to happen, then I would be looking for a bounce at minimum to about 59,500. At that point, I'd be looking for a little bit of a pullback and then kind of play off the same areas that we had from the last couple days here as Bitcoin, was really stifled at this 61,300-ish level right here. So that does imply that if Bitcoin can get back above there, wouldn't necessarily target this area right here. It'd actually target higher in this case because it's a little bit too close, and probably somewhere around 64, maybe even 65,000 bucks if that were to happen. Obviously, that's very, very far away from right now, but it is important to kind of prepare for these things as time goes onwards and forwards. Until then, I mean, this is, still kind of shaping up to be a little more continuation than not. And I think the real question right now is, are we seeing like a macro reversal or not? I would not feel comfortable calling a macro reversal anytime soon. Again, I don't even consider the possibility of it until we actually freshly close and really get a negative slope on the yellow 21 exponential average right there. Until that happens, it's just not, my first interpretation of this. Although things are going to start to change around on the monthly, for example, that is going to look a little bit nasty. And we actually would, if this does put in, something resembling like a shooting star dildo this month, and then comes back down below it next month, and let's say closes maybe a weekly below $55,000, then we actually probably could front run bearish divergence on a monthly RSI, which would not be great. Not be great at all, actually. Anyways, again, we're still well and far away from something like that, but I do want to put things into perspective and kind of what's at stake given the current circumstances as Bitcoin does kind of trudge along these regions. And again, what was all this born off of? What was our big indication? It was last week. What did we see last week? We saw one massive shooting star dildo over here 1 week ago on Friday on CME. And then we said, hey, if Bitcoin breaks below 63,500, it's not really time to be bullish anymore. It's time to be looking for 58,500 minimum. And well, we got that. Bounce has already been negated on that, so not great. And if I had to call it right now, yeah, I do think that Bitcoin will eventually find its way down somewhere around about $52,000, give or take, $500 from that target, and that could potentially be the next major bottoming area, perhaps even as soon as the next few days here, maybe even today. It's possible. Anyways, with all that said, is there anything else that I want to get onto right now, or should we get onto the comments? Yeah, I think it's time to get onto the comments. So let me just bring them up right here. Okay, beautiful. And let me see what else has got lined up over here. And oh my God, there's already a shit ton. My Lord, what the hell? There's 2,000 people right here. Hey, good morning to everyone out there. Welcome to Krown's Crypto Cave, or Air Krown Crypto, whatever the fuck you call this channel nowadays. And this is a weird part of the internet. I do have to warn you, but you're more than welcome to stay here. And now we'll get on to the comments. All right, so let's see. We got Toma Rocket and Emmanuel Rosell. Welcome to the cave, sirs and zers. Oh, I also want to know if you are actually a member on this channel, what I've done is I've gone ahead and uploaded like a TA 101 playlist for you. It's an updated one, just kind of like a thank you there, for people who actually who went through the trouble to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for that, and that's there for you viewing at any moment that you like. It's going to be in the members section on this channel, or I don't know, whatever it is. Look, it just means that if you have that thingy, then you should be able to view them. And yeah, it's like a 10-part series or such. It's very, very basic, but maybe relevant to you, maybe not be relevant to you. Anyways, FA says, good morning to you, sir. GM USD on OKX 4-hour postulating reversal in the backs of Bybit listing today. Okay, so you're basically saying, or you're coming up with the idea that based off the listing on Bybit, perhaps we might see a reversal on this. Typically, that is a sell the event type of thing. So let's see what we got going on over here. It looks like it's extremely new, no matter which exchange that you go to. And I actually would not be of that opinion if I'm just looking at OKX. This is not bad right here. I actually like this as a nice low. Now, keep in mind, I'm on an hourly time frame, so I'm not calling like this one back to the moon or anything like that. But I wouldn't necessarily get bearish on this one, looking for massively new lows down to like 38,500 or so, as long as you do hold this current hourly higher low right here. Or it's not necessarily a higher low, but just this hourly low right here. As long as you're above there, I do look for this one to essentially play in a range between about 63.5 and that low currently at about 46,100 or so. And short term, do I think that we're going to test back up around here? Probably yes. Do I think that we actually can break it to the upside? Probably not. No, but ultimately, if you do break to the upside, I would be looking for another retest of your 82,000 high right here, and I'd still hold off on getting like actually bullish on this thing as long as you're below about 87,000 right here. Again, these are very low time frames on a very new chart, so how much do I trust them like this? Probably not all that much, but for what it's worth right here, I'd actually say that it's more likely to put in a nice complex low right here rather than a top, at least for the data that we have right now on an hourly. That gets invalidated and negated below this level right here on an hourly closure, looking for big downs after that. Until then, sideways is essentially good for the boolas. Just think that it takes a little bit of time. Then again, on an hourly, I mean, that could maybe be like a day or two. Anyways, FA says, excuse my greed, good sir. It's all good, man. Check my old block breaking. Oh, yes. Okay, so yesterday we saw that one was approaching rapidly the 9 spot 8 cent region, and it was probably going to break it. So let's see if it's hey, that's not what we're looking for. There we go. Let's see if it actually pulled through. It did pull through. Hey, not bad. All right, hey, not bad. Block pulling through right there. And I would be looking for this one to continue on with the short-term upside, actually, as we do see volatility starting to tick back above the moving average and also get a positive slope. Good. And we do see that it is taking out, yeah, your range highs right there. So I am looking for the measure move somewhere around about 13.5 or 13 cents, and very likely a pullback from there. Short-term timeframes are just a general uptrend. Obviously, this chart was not charted for an hourly. Let's maybe go to a 4-hour. Yeah, 4 hours is good, man. It's just another another higher low right here and a breakout, we do see essentially what you'd be expecting to see in something like this, man. Yeah, I do think that it will follow through. Short term, I'd be looking for a move towards about 1185 and very likely a little bit of a pullback there, and then very likely continuation to the top side of your range. Above there, I would be looking for another run at your prior all-time highs. I wouldn't necessarily say that's like the most likely thing to happen right now, but short term, medium term, looking good. Very, very nice one right there, actually. And this is what I'm talking about. There's several altcoins that are not playing at all with Bitcoin, like at all. And this would be one of them, I guess. It's very new, but you know, got to give credit where credit is due. And I suspect that we'll probably see a few other ones similar to this today. And it's going to be very interesting for me to kind of look into them. Anyways, Alberto says, "Sup, Krown? What's up, man? Hey, would you check out QREDO?" Sure. QREDO. Okay, Credo, nice, on Kcoin, 4 hours and onwards, like all of the fucking time frames, man. I don't know about that. Maybe we go to a daily first and see where we're at in the grand scheme of things. Getting there, man, getting there. Do I think that we have another? Do I think that we have another drive here or not? Okay, if this is going to be the next low, we'd expect to see some hidden bullish evidence right here. Do we see that? No, we don't. We see bearish evidence on the other side. I do think that this one's ranging at best. I'm certainly not bearish on it, but I would be looking for a reversal below about 735. Until then, sideways is good for the BULAs, but I don't really have anything to make out of it other than that. It is a general uptrend here, but I mean, this thing's been around for what, a few months, which is better than the last one, I suppose. But still, I'd like to see a little bit more. We are seeing several bearish divergences formulate on, you know, your 12-hour time frame, and on top of that, we do see that 12-hour jewel is turning down, not supported by DMI, so that's not an actionable signal. I would say it becomes actionable below 735. Until then, sideways is good, but if I had to call this one right now, yeah, I do think it's going to correct further south. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at right here, and targets on that would probably be somewhere down around about $6 or so. And I'd be looking for a bounce around there. Again, long term, it's a good chart. I mean, this one goes up and to the right, generally speaking, but it is starting to lose a little bit of momentum right here. And while short term it looks like it wants to test back up towards $9, I wouldn't necessarily say that this one's ready, or at least I wouldn't say that the probabilities on this side for like making new ultimate from this exact posturing. I think it trades sideways at best for a while. That would be good for the BULAs, and even a correction here on a 12 hour is completely fine. It's still good long term. Just, you know, where's that next major low coming in around? And I suspect that this one's a little bit too hot for me right now, to be fair. Anyways, let's see. We got Damien. He says CRO 1 hour and 4 hour on Coinbase. Sure, man. Trying to recover my Angus from last night's graping. Sir, hey, man, if you're going to be a trader, you got to be a trader. You know, that means that you can both trade the upside and the downside. But I don't know, maybe I'm speaking to the choir right now. Anyways, let's actually record this one. This one's just been so interesting. Such a winner. Here we have crypto.com, symbol CRO versus the dollar. Looks like we hit our low 60-cent target from the day prior, and this one's still showing some strength right here. I mean, yes, it did kind of sell off a little bit with Bitcoin, but what does it do? It just spikes into another higher low. Can't hate that. Can't hate that at all. In fact, even the 4 hour right here is putting a higher low somewhere right around about 49 cents. So I can't be looking for greater corrections on this one, especially as long as you're above 44 cents in this case. And right now you're even holding at 21. So this one's rather strong. On top of that, you even have some hidden bullish evidence about to be formulated with any sort of a closure here or higher by the end of the next 1 hour and 22 minutes and 41 seconds. So if that condition is met, I guess I'm looking for another grind up towards your highs. You can do this two ways, either a full hour closure, I'd say above 57.5 cents, or just a wick higher than yesterday's high. And if that does happen, next areas that I'm looking towards are basically 69 to 72 cents. Again, among some of the best charts that we've seen today, or I mean, it is the best chart that we've seen today, certainly, but I mean, just look at that win. The weekly's still good, man, I guess. I do think this one is coming into a top relatively soon. We are seeing volatility get into some extremes right here, but still go a little bit more. It's right at 93.5 percentile. I really want to see that get to 95 percentile or more. That's where I typically start to look for, you know, major highs, and this is a weekly for what it's worth, which is quite a fair bit. Daily already got up there, so I do think this one's maybe got one more move to the upside, and then very likely does consolidate sideways and down. I'm not saying that this one would be bearish long term. Obviously, the monthly is, you know, phenomenally bullish long term. Wouldn't be surprised to see new ultimate in December, actually, but I do think that you are nearing your next major high relatively soon. I think you got one more drive, and I wouldn't invalidate that again until you actually do take out about 43.5 or 44 cents on a 4 hour closure to the downside, and then I'd be looking for a correction maybe somewhere down around your last lows from you know, early November. Let's see if it looks any different over here, or if momentum is starting to wane a little bit more from this angle, and I suspect that it probably is. Nope, short-term time frame's turning back up above 50 cents. Not bad. 4 hour is also going to turn up above 58 cents. little bit further away, but that would be above the last prior high from yesterday, so that would be good, and also fulfill our continuation condition. And daily will also remain with upside caution above 54.5 cents. So again, it really wouldn't take too much to get this one to correct from here, but I would still kind of be leaning towards one more drive to the upside, and then very likely does correct sideways and down. If you are a little bit more conservative, like I typically am, and when it comes to trading, well, I think the easy moves on this one have been had, probably for the rest of this week and probably next week as well. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for crypto.com, sir. What's up, Kathleen White? Good morning to you from Puerto Rico. And you're looking at Mana. Okay, yes, daily and weekly. This might be another one that is worth recording because it is just, it's another one of those winner coins, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Big winner right there. And let me pull it up over here. And then I'm going to take a sippy sip of this water because my throat's already fucked. But here we go. Actually, that's just a 4-hour, but fair enough. There we go. There we go. All right, let me just pull this back on over here. Let me actually see the comments as they come through. That'd be good. Nice one. All right, sweet. Okay, so let's go to a daily and actually address what you're asking for. And here we have Decentraland, symbol MANA versus the dollar. And what do we have? We have yet again another one of these better charts that are just acting well throughout all of this downside displeasures on Bitcoin specifically, which is a signal of strength. Now, did we close above our major range from yesterday? We did actually, and that does initiate targets a little bit higher. So measured move would be pointed up towards 475 to $4.5. Do I think that we're going to get there? Short-term timeframes are trending right here. So all timeframes looking good. 4-hour daily, and I imagine weekly as well. And I have no reason to invalidate this as long as you're above yesterday's spike low, which is 330. What is that? 335? Yeah, 335 in this case. Overall, I'm looking for this one to give one more try higher, kind of similar to crypto.com in this sense. I do think this one's very close to a major high, but I suspect that we've got one more grind higher, whether that be 475 or maybe even $5. But I would be cognizant that this one's likely to put in a nice top around that region. Not necessarily saying that it's topping out for forever, but a pullback after that would be rather likely. Looking at the weekly, again, still overall good, but look at the extreme conditions that we're putting in over here on weekly BBWP, as is the daily working off of those extreme ones right there. So I think it's got one more maybe, and then very likely does pull back. Looking at momentum oscillators over here, 4-hour Stokes will turn back up above 423, which we're actually currently well below right now, and daily remains with upside caution as long as above 345, so that is not in danger. Weekly, which is still a few days away from closing, is actually in a really, really good posture right here, rejecting the bearish control zone and turning back up above 255. It's not really in any danger. So short-term timeframes ebb and flow, obviously, for hourly's down as well here, but ultimately I'm looking for this one to follow upwards and onwards towards those targets, again, as long as the invalidation's not hit. Hopefully that was helpful on Mana, but yeah, another one of those more impressive charts. And of course, as we do kind of draw closer to the end of this month, the monthly is nothing but bullish, so I wouldn't be surprised to see new all-time highs in December as well, after a bit of a correction after those next targets are hit. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Decentraland Mana. What's up, Colin? Penrod, AVAX, 4-hour daily. So everyone's calling out all the strong ones today. This is good. This is good. It gives me an insight as to what's actually good, and AVAX would be another good one right here. Let's record this one. Here we have Avalanche, symbol AVAX versus the dollar. And what do we have? We have a general uptrend on pretty much all time frames, or actually all time frames in this case. Even your 4-hour looking good for another retest of your $108.50 highs. Now, we still have daily targets, I believe, based off the break of $100. And this one's still looking good. So while I always have to put up an invalidation condition for this, the invalidation condition for this one would be with a 4-hour closure below about $92 in this case, or maybe use a daily, depending upon how conservative or aggressive you are. But I still look at this as an overall breakout and just kind of a trudge towards new highs. Now, do we have? Yes, we do have over here, although you can't really see them with my with my current setup, but it's okay because we're actually looking at the higher targets in this case. I suspect that this one probably does run towards $1.25, maybe, or sorry, $1.20 to $1.25. Sorry, 125 in this case. Before playing out its next correction. Again, we're not really seeing anything too extreme on daily BBWP. We're actually seeing it contract right now. This one does trudge upwards and onwards. Daily RSI, do we have anything concerning over here? We do have something that actually could be potentially concerning, and that would be some potential bearish divergence. Not a very strong drive of it, but it would only be confirmed if we confirm this as a local high. And how would you confirm this as a local high? It needs to come back down below that $92 region. So if that were to happen, I would be looking for a nice move, a nice corrective move back down to about 88, 89 bucks. Until then, I have no reason to invalidate that, and I just look for this one to kind of move upwards and onwards. Looking at the weekly, again, generally good right here. I don't have any, obviously, issues with this. Do you like my Harry Potter slippers, by the way? I bet you do. I'm trying to kill you with the cold weather. I'm also trying to just hear. It's actually like really, really weird right now. I can't hear that well. Anyways, hourly stokes are up as long as above $100.50. Okay, good. Full hour is going to turn back up above 105 and a quarter. And daily, where we at, turns back up above 106.75. So kind of in a little bit of a weird place right there. But ultimately, I would still be on the side of more continuation here again until that invalidation condition is met. Can't really hate an uptrend in this case. And hey, if you do hit the invalidation condition, I am looking for corrections down somewhere around, more like $88, somewhere between 86 and 88, not 89 in this case. Again, we're still a little bit further away from there, but kind of similar to the last two. It's strong, definitely relatively strong right now, but and I imagine that if Bitcoin bounces hard, this one very likely benefits rather greatly from that. But if you hit those conditions, well, going to be correction first, and then maybe try for new highs in December. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for AVAX. Speaking of coming to the end of this month here, looks like Plan B looks like a streak probably is going to end. So fair enough. But people gave him so much shit that it almost makes you just want it to happen for him. It's, I don't know, man. You always want to root for the underdog, right? Anyways, Bimmer says intro with this track equals goosebumps. Nice. Let's get to the freaking TA, bruh. That's exactly right, my friend. And thank you for that, man. And good morning to you as well. John Dude says, morning, y'all. Meta Hero USD on KuCoin, 1 hour and 4 hour. Have we hit the bottoms yet? The problem with shitcoins is there's not really a such thing as a bottom. But let's see if this one truly is a shitcoin or not. And it is a shitcoin. We have a shitcoin of a chart right here on the loose. Shitcoin police should be called in immediately, but unfortunately my damn thingy is not on right now, actually. But have we hit the bottom yet? I mean, a lot of the time you are going to get a little bit of a pity rally based off of your prior major lows. In this case, your October lows, which was not even that far ago. And I think you already kind of got it over here. So very, very weak. This is not the one that you want to be in if and when Bitcoin does bounce. To be fair, though, is it ready for a short-term bounce? Probably yes. You are going to see some bullish evidence start to formulate here. I mean, it really wouldn't take too much. So where do you actually confirm this is a local low? Back above about basically 9.9 cent in this case, and at that point I'd be looking for a little bit of a rally, maybe around your last swing high from 18th of November, basically yesterday. Until then, though, this one it would be among one of the weaker charts that we've seen today. In fact, it's probably the weakest one that we have seen today, and you want to be in the strong ones, kind of like we saw earlier. At least in my opinion, if you're going to play some sort of a bounce alongside Bitcoin, this one probably not going to operate all that well. Although, yes, it very likely will bounce with Bitcoin, and I do think that you're a lot closer to a bounce here than not. In fact, it's probably going to bounce from here, to be fair. But do not confuse bounce with a reversal. This thing has no topic of reversal at all to new all-time highs or whatever the fuck they tell you in the goddamn white paper there, because it's probably more of a marketing pitch than like an actual white paper. Or I'm just assuming here because I come from 2017 2016 where all of that shit was true, but there's no talks of that as long as it's below 13 cents basically. Very, very bad. Anyways, let's see. Great fundamentals but for the project, but a shit chart. Well, typically good projects have good charts in my experience. Not always, but more often than not, yes. Like if you have to start to, and I'm not trying to make fun of you or talk down to you, Mr. John Dude, but this is like a big mistake that I made when I first got into trading in traditional markets. Like I'd be like, oh, this stock is great. I love this stock, like Chipotle, but it would just keep on going down. It's like, no, if you have to make excuses for your favorite chart, it's not good. Like it's not fucking good. At least in my experience, it's very not good. Anyways, J3F says Solana USD 1 hour and 4 hour. Yes, we can definitely do that one. Let me pull it up over here. Imagine this one got hit pretty damn hard in the last day. Yeah, all the way down in 195. Jesus, man. Powerful selling going on right there. We are right on the 55, so probably looking for a bounce of this level before anything else over the next few days here. Probably, I don't think it's going to happen today, actually. I do think that it'd take at least a day or two before it actually gets like a legitimate bounce, and bounce targets would be somewhere around about 212 to 215-ish region. Unfortunately for Solana, I do look at this one as still corrective, especially as long as you're closing daily dollars below about 225. But yeah, you can bounce up rather significantly in the next few days. And hey, if that level does get reclaimed, then all good. If you're specifically looking at the 1 hour and 4 hour, as you requested, do we see any bottoming behavior right here? 4 hour, an ever so slight drive of bullish evidence is going to be popular right there. So, targets back up to about 210, I think is somewhat relevant. You're probably going to see Bitcoin bounce first around that time as well. Hourly, Same thing, getting a lot of drives of bullish evidence over here. Hourly Jewel also giving somewhat of an anemic signal, not great just yet. Do we have any hidden bearish evidence on the other side? Let's see, what is this? 46.46 versus 46.71. Actually, technically, yes. So maybe one more drive at your lows and then probably a bounce, but these are very low-term time frames. I'm not calling like a major reversal off this. I think that's going to take at minimum at least like another few days, probably longer than that though. And probably going to be easier to watch Bitcoin in this case as well, because this one doesn't really seem to be acting the best actually, which is what I would expect for Solana, because it was such a strong actor earlier this year, but now it's kind of just par for the course. A little bit on the stronger side, but more or less par for the course. What's up, Bullfrog Fire? So, hey man, good to see you as well, sir. Can you look at Ethereum weekly and monthly? Sure. Yeah, let's go check it out over here. So this was one of the things that was kind of helping my hopium even amidst all of this downside displeasures. And what do we see on the weekly? Well, we see rejection of the topside Krown band, not a death sentence. I mean, correction down to the 9 exponential is, not like a humongous deal, but I expect that we're probably going to have some major bearish divergence over on this time frame if we bring up an RSI on the weekly, which I'm almost certain that we do. And yes, we certainly do. 1, 2, 3 drives actually coming off the highs. Technical target from that is usually going to be around the 21, which is 3,500. Don't hate me, but else is not going to like that. Oh, else is not going to like that. No more bags for you, baby. 5-day probably already has confirmed it. Yeah, it actually has. Wait, hold on. Actually, no, it is not, because that was not. Yeah, it actually does not include that point right there. So that actually be the one counterpoint to that. What about the monthly? Monthly, I still don't hit the monthly right here. I'll hit the monthly if we close something like this and then come back down below like $4,000 next month on a weekly closure. That'd look pretty bad. We'd actually have some bearish divergence right here, and yeah, that would get quite nasty. But again, even with this, even with all this downside right here, we still got another 11 days and 18 hours left in this month. And if we close anywhere above 4,400, which actually seems quite far away right now. It's a little bit more than a 10% move now, isn't it? But if we did close above 4,400, it'd actually still be bullish on this chart. In fact, as it would be trading above the top side of Krown band. But here's the thing. Oh, actually, here's not the thing. We do not have a bi-monthly or a quarterly closing at the end of this month. So is this one any different? Yeah, just testing the top side of the Krown band right now. That'd be a little bit of hopium right there. And quarterly, what are we looking at end of December? Actually still would be good as well. Would be very concerning on a quarterly to be closing like below 3,500, but for right now it's still well and far away. So, I actually still have a little bit of hopium just looking at this. In fact, there's one thing that I wanted to bring up today as far as hopium goes for the general market, also kind of supporting that. I don't necessarily think that we're like seeing a macro reversal here. Again, I think it's very far away based off of what we spoke about earlier, but even then, something a little bit more simple would be looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin pairing here. This one's obviously bullish. Not only is it obviously bullish, or sorry, I should explain why that's important. Why that's important is because we have never seen a bullish Ethereum Bitcoin pairing during a general macro down market. And when we do see it, within a weekly downtrend, yeah, that has been your macro downside market. But right now, I mean, this is I would say that this is the opposite of bearish. This is bullish right here. This is still really, really good. So I'd say that that's also certainly more on the hopium side, but maybe we just see bifurcation and Ethereum, steals the show for a little bit. Definitely possible, but we have not seen that once in the history of time. So I'm inclined to say that that's probably not the case. And, that still would be a little more on the good side, I suppose. Anyways, Raj Nali says, ALBT, sir, 4-hour and daily. Love you as well, sir. Let's see what we got over here. ALBT. Remember that we looked at this one last time, probably ranging back down to the lows if I had to guess, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. Again, though, looking at something like this, I do have a bullish bias long term, as long as you're also between this massive range here. But yeah, I do think that you're going to test them somewhere around the bottom side of that range. So do be aware of that. I'm not it doesn't mean that it's just blindly fucking bullish here. Short term is. Well, very short term, like a 4-hour, as you requested, is probably going to put in a bounce relatively soon here. Yep, we got a very ever so slight drive of bullish evidence formulating right now. Probably going to test back up towards 97, maybe even a buck. However, I would not say that this one's ready to even test the top side of the range, not even like turn around to be bullish, but but just test the top side of the range at like 115 to 120 until you actually see a 4-hour closure above this last local high, which was 101 to 102. Above there, yeah, I think that you test the top side of the range again. Again, that is not a continuation call on this one. I think honestly, this one's going to take a long time kind of filling out this range right here. And, if it can hold it for a while, then yes, I would say that that's going to certainly be more on the bullish side. But, make no mistake about it, below 70 cents, still bad. Just, I don't think that that's what's happening right here. I think this one's, ranging still, which is fine for the long term. Anyways, Micah says, how to leverage trade Bitcoin on interactive brokers. Well, you should have it enabled like automatically. You need to go into like the settings there and make sure that you can trade like the CME mini contracts, for example. Those are obviously going to be leveraged. So just trade like the futures on CME. You don't need to put up like serious amounts of of collateral in order to trade the mini contracts there. So those will be leveraged automatically. Anyways, AEAD says, hi Krown, what's up, man? Can you help me out with RMRK? I can look at it. I don't know if I can help you out with it. Like I can't make it go up or down. But this one actually is okay. Again, another altcoin that's not, I mean, it's not that it's not bad. It's actually good. It's actually quite good here. Anyways, 4 hour, again, kind of similar to the last range that we saw. I am essentially bullishly biased as long as you are above 26.37 and also in between there in your current high structure. Basically, yesterday's high at about 37.5. Do I think that we're going to test the top side or the downside of this one short term? Momentum oscillators are a little bit more in a downside posture here, so I think it's maybe slightly more likely to test around 28 or 26.5 first. But ultimately, as long as you're holding within this region, this is going to be implied with a bullish resolution. Again, need to see it actually above yesterday's spike high. Even on a spike high would be fine enough, and I'd be looking for the next set of targets somewhere in the mid 40s after that. Daily is okay. It's still a relatively new chart. And I do feel quite compelled to say that, hey, if you do take out the bottom side of the range at 26.5, it's going to get fucking nasty, man. It's going to get real nasty down to your low 20s, upper teens or so. But until then, man, give it the benefit of the doubt. This one's acting, better than most. I would say it is kind of getting to extreme conditions here. It's a little bit too new of a chart to really give it too much. 12 hour already got there, but is this would be corrective, and corrective within the context of this trend is, still implied upside. So that's kind of how I look at that at this moment in time. And another very interesting one to me, just because, obviously it's not in a downtrend here at all. It's actually okay. Anyways, let's see. Hey, what's up, James Nalon? Hey, man, hope your ear comes back into focus. Yeah, I would really like that as well. It's so weird not being able to hear out of one ear. Like now I know why it must be so frustrating for people who are deaf or just like deaf in one ear. Man, I have a lot more sympathy for those people now, because sometimes it can be kind of like annoying when you're talking to your grandparents, for example, and they can't hear and you have to like fucking yell at them, and I don't know, it just feels weird. But I should be happy that I can't hear you. Yeah, fuck yeah, no more of that parrot in the background. Don't have to listen to that bullshit no more. No, it's actually quite annoying because you have to keep on saying, what did you say? It's fucking weird, man. I feel like an old man, which I guess I am. I already go to bed at 9, so why not just destroy the hearing here already? Anyways, looking to try and prednisone. I think you need a prescription for that, but yeah, maybe a good idea. It'll be okay. Only one relevant question for today. Okay, when moon cycle, be well. So when moon cycle, if you're asking about like the actual moon charts, and again, I always need to preface this by saying, hey, I'm not the fucking moon expert over here. I do think the results are interesting, certainly, but I think it's tonight. I think it's actually tonight or today. There is a full moon. If that's what you are indeed asking. If you're asking when moon up price action, I would basically call full bull ahead, meaning like it's time to be looking for $70,000 plus targets yet again, with Bitcoin back above about 64 to 65,000 bucks. Until then, everything's corrective, everything's a lower high, and we haven't even put in a local low yet, to be fair, on a daily. Now I do think it's probably going to be coming relatively soon, probably within these next few days, maybe even today, but need to put in perspective right now, right? I mean, even the Jewel is kind of coming into a bit of a, hey, god damn it, Jewel, there it is. And I said Jewel, not the other word. Anyways, still has its downside posture here, but it is in a bouncy territory. So, I think we're a lot closer to like the big bounce rather than not. But can that come alongside of another drop off, maybe to $54,000 first? Definitely possible there. Some guy says, Luna, standard review, please. Harold McDougall poop. No problem, Harold McDougall poop. Don't know what that's in reference to, but you know what? I support it, sir. I support your poop action. Anyways, I took my own before this stream. You can ask Elsa. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. She vacates the room whenever it's Dumbola time. Anyways, you're looking at standard review on Luna. Another one that is showing a little bit of divergences on short-term time frames right here. Actually, a pretty decent amount, in fact. So I would expect this one to bounce rather heftily alongside Bitcoin, assuming that Bitcoin does bounce relatively soon. First target would be about 43 and a quarter. And but I do think that, best it does to the upside is probably $46. Above there, things do actually change, and I would basically be just, bullish on this one yet again. We still have actually yet to see this one fully break range lows. So I am still inclined to say long term, it's probably fine. Short term, that's the range right there. Long term, here's the range right here. But that also means that, if Bitcoin does break down to, let's say, $52,000 or $51,000, you probably see this thing somewhere around about 34 and a quarter. So, do be aware of that. I think it's ranging at best here in short-term bouncy. Most likely, Bitcoin and this one have short-term time frame bounces yet again. But again, now because Bitcoin has taken, failed its prior level, bounce targets are not going to be $63,000 or $64,000. It's going to be, 61,300 at maximum. Above there, things do start to change a little bit for the medium-term time frame. So, I'm not saying that I can't get above there. It's just, those are like the easy ones, for example. Anyways, Gemini Athlete MMA says Matic, it looks like it bounced on the full hour. Very few things are like actually bouncing right now, so I'd kind of inclined to say that's probably not. But let's see. Yeah, it is. I'm wrong. Cool. Bullish divergence formulated right here. Thank you, Caretakers RSI. And yeah, short term, very likely to 160 or so. I do think that things would extend from there. Very likely test somewhere around yesterday's highs, which was like 167, maybe even a little bit higher than that. If you can take out yesterday's high, meaning just tick above it, I would extend targets back up to your prior range highs on the 4-hour time frame, which is 177 or 178 region, and that would look okay. If we pull back here to a daily, again, the long term, it's still a hard chart to hate long term, right? And we still, if you want the hopium right here, this would be it. Well, that is a hopium. That would be, one massive long term ascending triangle. Possible, yes, but needs to hold 145. So fair enough. Let's see. Arif 5665 says, please take a look at CRV. Okay. No time frames given, no base pairings defined, so I'm just gonna roll with it, man. Daily, actually good, very, very good here, very, very good. Wow, was not expecting this on this thing, but very interesting to see. Again, another altcoin that's just, it's not that it's not even as bad as Bitcoin right now. It's actually acting relatively well. Anyways, nothing really bearish about this thing as long as it's above 350, even on a 4-hour closure. I'm not saying that we can't come back down and test around there. We certainly can, but I don't call any major downside as long as you're above there. Now, below there, yes, I would call a retracement down to like 275 minimum with the bounce implied there, and then maybe more continuation over time. But until then, this is just a retest of your macro range highs in this case, at least for what this chart does show. And so far, the response has been good. So I expect that on any sort of a Bitcoin bounce with it, which I think that we're getting ready for, either here or just a little bit lower, this one probably, retest around the highs of this rally, which, would just be another falling channel flagging out formation after the big break. It's actually quite good. Weekly, not as obvious, but I still think it's okay. No divergences to be found. So I'm generally going to be bullish on this one. Again, be aware of where the invalidations are, but again, an impressive chart, all things considered. An impressive chart, actually. Not the strongest that we've seen today, but among them. What's up, Joey Burden? My best friend is currently dealing with 1 ear hearing loss. Yeah, it's so weird, man. It's so weird. Sending healing vibes. I appreciate that, man. And I'm sending some healing vibes to your friend as well, because I can sympathize now, man. It's not fun. It's very annoying, man. Very annoying. Elsa could like sneak up on me like a ninja, and I would have no clue at all. Can you look at Cadena 4-hour and daily? Yes. Okay, so Cadena, need to jog my memory on this one. I think it was looking maybe toppy-ish last we looked at it. Yeah, and I'll still be sticking with the top call over here, but holding within this range, and especially not breaking down as much as Bitcoin, is a sign of strength on this one. And while I do think that this one isn't going to be moving towards new optimize anytime soon, I actually do look at this one as relatively strong. And wait, let's just chart it for the daily right here. Sorry, that one's charted for like 4-hour and I think maybe weekly or something. But sideways within this region right here between 15.5 and 23.5 is going to be long-term good and going to imply an upside resolution. Again, I wouldn't necessarily confirm an upside resolution until you close above 23.5. Even on a 12-hour would do it for me. Could a 4-hour do it for me? Yeah, 4-hour could do it for me as well. At that point, I'd look for a retest your all-time highs. But as long as they're oscillating between this region right here, good. Very, very good. Does that mean that you can come back down and test around the bottom side of the range? Yeah. Again, I think that it takes time at best, but I would not say this one's bearish. Again, as long as you're above there. Below there, yeah, look for a big move down to $10, maybe $9, and come back to it after that. But this one is holding up relatively well. That is a sign of strength. And this one is just working off extreme conditions right now. So this is going to be considered a healthy consolidation until that condition is invalidated. Not bad, man. Not bad. Rocket Kelly says 12R weekly and daily, I think is what you mean. 12R. Okay. I've never seen this one before, so I can't. Oh, okay. Oh, it's okay. It's a German stock. Gotcha. Okay. What the fuck is this thing, man? Sorry, this does not have a weekly, barely even a daily. I don't have an opinion on something like this, man. If you put a gun on my head, does this look like a bottom right here? Maybe yes, but it's really grasping at straws, man. It's way too new to be analyzing. Oh my god, what the actual fuck is this thing? Get this thing out of my face! Ugh! Sir, you done goofed on this goddamn chart. Oh my lord. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, and then daily looks like this. That's weird. That's very weird. I'm inclined to say whenever I get a chart like this that I shouldn't have an opinion on it, because who the hell knows? I mean, this is like, I need to take away my moving average for it even to make sense. But you had a gap down from $22 to 62 cents. I think something terrible has happened here, sir. I think it's effectively dead. something has gone drastically wrong, my friend. This one's been banned from the moon. This one can't even look at the moon. This one the moon is no longer in the vocabulary here. Jesus, man. Powerfully shitty chart. Very bad. Bimmer says Bitcoin futures expire the 26th of this month. Do you know if this can have any influence on price action as well? Yeah, similar to options expiration, absolutely. So let me actually explain this, and maybe I'll record this video. Okay, here we have a really good question from our community member, Mr. Bimmer, who looks like he's from the UAE, a very special place actually. Elsa loves Dubai, by the way. Anyways, the question is, Bitcoin futures expire the 26th of this month. Do you know if this can have any influence on price as well? Absolutely, yes. This is very similar to options in traditional markets, or even in this market as well. The people who are moving this market, the people who actually have the equity to move this market, typically are trading, these sort of contracts that have expiration dates, known as futures contracts for CME and also options as well. And the reason why these dates are important is because they're what's known as expiration, where those positions will expire, as the name states. And those positions will either be, if they're options, in the money or out of the money, and if they're futures, they'll either be, profit or loss. Anyways, usually about a few days to a week leading up to that expiration, this is not a hard rule, but this is just a general rule, those positions, or the people holding those positions, typically won't hold them into the actual expiration themselves. What they'll do is they'll either hedge their deltas, meaning that they'll effectively want to kind of close that position by taking an opposite position. So in the case of let's say that you're a long one call in the money, and you wanted to just kind of, take your profit right now, you'd sell some stock against it. And for a futures position, you're long the futures, for example, like maybe you longed, I don't know, one futures contract at $6,000, and then you sell, one futures contract, like you wouldn't actually do this, but you'd sell one futures contract at, whatever price that you deem possible, just to kind of close off your position right there and, not eat it into the end of the month. Anyways, so you typically do that, as a general rule, about 3 days to a week before the actual expiration. Some people wait until the last day. Some people actually hold it. Very rarely will professionals do that, in my experience. But why does that matter? Well, all those positions mean that your portfolio now has a different, risk profile. And when you have something like that and you don't want something like that, you're just doing that to kind of like close off your deltas before expiration, you do what's called rolling your position, or you just open something completely new into a new expiration so that you can maintain that exposure coming into, whatever you want, essentially. So So yeah, that's why a lot of the time you will see big price action kind of around those dates, but usually you see the bulk of it like a week or a few days before, because this is where a lot of people get this one wrong. Is they'll be like, oh my God, we have a monthly expiration, you know, on the in this case the 26th of this month, and that means that on the 26th exactly, shit's gonna get real. Actually, no, it's usually like a few days before, and you can backtest this yourself. I don't have like the expiration calendar up on my own screen right now, or I have just a shitcoin of a chart on my screen right now. Apologies for that. I don't mean to give you eye sores or eye aids, but we can go back to Bitcoin over here, which is, you know, not great anyways, short term. Probably going to retest the lows here, and probably bounce as well. But again, you know, that, yeah, they definitely do matter, and that's why a lot of the time around the third week of each and every month, which is called your regular expiration, and usually going to be probably like your futures expiration as well for traditional markets, although I'm not as solid on that one. That is why you see a lot of major price action kind of postulated around there or pivoted around there, and a lot of major reversals come around that time as well, actually too. So hopefully that's helpful, and there you go for that, sir. Awesome, man. Sally Schill says Jasmine on Coinbase. Jasmine, yeah, Jasmina too. Jasmine ain't on.
No,
Jasmine. Oh, Jazz. This piece of highly steeped technology. All right, let's go try it out. Jazz me fucking coins over here. 4 hour and daily, please, sir. Okay, 4 hour. Just kind of slinking over here. Again, ranging at best. Short term, I do think it's going to test around the downside of your range, like 14 cents or so. Not really an interesting chart, nor bullish, as long as you're below about 20 cents, just yesterday's spike high. Above there, yeah, good again, actually, and probably reclaims your prior range highs, somewhere around about 25 and 3/4 or so. Until then, short term, I'm actually looking for this one to probably trade a little bit sideways and down here based off of the hidden bearish evidence on 4 hour RSI. Daily, same thing. If you do take out the bottom side of the range, 14 cents on a closure, I would be looking for this one to go for the full retrace, or effectively the full retrace down to like 9 cents or so. It wouldn't look too hot, but a little bit too new there to be looking at it daily, in my opinion. Anyways, Rolando P, what's up, man? Good morning to you. AION, 2 hour and 4. Can you explain the long wicks? Liquidity, you know, probably doesn't trade all that much, so need a lot of people in the order books in order for price action to look a little bit more orderly. And in this case, yeah, this would not be it. Just a liquid market. I mean, you can already see on this one, this is a very uninspiring chart, we'll say, or you might call it a shitcoin chart. Sorry, man. Again, not talking shit about you, obviously, but as far as charts go, definitely not a very interesting chart, especially amongst some of the ones that we've seen today, which have actually looked okay. But if the question quite literally is just why wicks, sir, it's due to the illiquid nature of this asset right here. You know, a big market sell, or relatively big market sell for this one, can probably push price action around pretty significantly. Anyways, you asked about a 2 hour and a 4 hour specifically. Yeah, this is just I want no bit. You know, the only reason, in my opinion, to trade something like this is if like you really like the underlying fundamentals, and or you have like inside information, something like that. I mean, you got to. I don't even know if I'd feel comfortable with calling this one a range right here. It's just sloppy as fuck. Short term, do I think that's put in a little bit of a local low right here? Probably yes. I expect to see some sort of bullish evidence come off the lows, and we don't necessarily have it just yet, but I imagine the 2 hour does. Yeah, it does. Short term, though, it looks like wants to retest around the lows, and then I'd be looking for a bounce after that, and that probably puts in bullish evidence on the 4 hour. So short term, a little bit of sideways and down. However, I'll be looking for a bounce somewhere around about 15 cents or 15.5 cents in this case, and then pray. And then pray. What's up, Kamikaze Creations? And of course, you know, back above what, this 19.5 cent high right here, I guess it's okay again, but you don't need to trade something like this, man. But hey, fair enough. You know, more power to you, and to each their own, right? Kamikaze Creation says, hey, Krown and Elsa, what's up, man? Gala, 4 hour and daily. Sure. GALA. Okay. Let's see how this one's doing. Good. Hey, another very interesting chart. Wow. Very, very interesting. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Laugh it up, bitch. Just kidding. I say that as a term of endearment. I love you, sir. But seriously. Anyways, looking at this one right here. Okay, so I remember this from a few days ago. Someone asked about this thing. We said a breakout above 11 cents and big targets initiated after that. In fact, it smashed my 22 cent target right here. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one trades sideways at best for a while, but hey, the 4-hour time frame is actually still bullish for what it's worth. I mean, you're working off extreme conditions here on the 4-hour. Obviously, daily's probably up there too. It is up there. I'm a lot more inclined to say this one works sideways at best and maybe a little bit of downside, but it's good. I mean, like going up is obviously better than going down. And I suppose if you do want to play the 4-hour range, this is what I'd say it is. I mean, nothing too crazy right there. 20.5 cent to the downside versus 29.25 cent to the upside. Above there, I guess I'd look for another slew of new all-time highs towards 30 cents, but I'm a lot more inclined to say it probably trades a little bit sideways in here, and then at some point breaks below about 21 cents, and then you do see a bit of a correction, maybe down to like, you know, upper teens, low 20s, something like that. And in long term, still good. But you are starting to see some bearish divergence on the 4 right here. I don't think it's super deadly just yet. Same thing on the, and actually 12 doesn't even have it. Again, this one could pull back down to like 17 cents, still be very good long term. So I'm just a little bit more cognizant that this one's, you know, seen quite a nice move. Really wouldn't take too much for this one to pull back here. In short term, I do think that it will pull back to those regions. Sorry, not to those regions, but to the bottom side of the range, like 21 cents or so. But even the out is still good here. So fair enough. You know, can't hit a chart like that. Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, Toby One? With that, yeah, man, sorry about that. Yeah, the for some reason there was an issue with like the stream versus YouTube. I don't know whose fault it was, but whatever. The result was all the same, unfortunately. Anyways, yeah, we did actually speak about Hex on that day. We can do it again today. You can see it over here at your request. So we got on this one on Uniswap. And Hex, for all things considered, actually holding an okay right here. Could this be your next daily high or low? We do have some phantom drives of bullish divergence coming off of the daily, actually. But I wouldn't say that this is actionable or indicative of like a major low right here until you start to close the daily back above 23.5 cents. I'm still more of the opinion on this one that regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, it's likely to trade. You know, it's like that. It's like they put in you know, a more significant bounce right here. But as I also said last time, which you probably weren't here for, and also, by the way, you do have some hidden bullish evidence on a weekly here, so it's a lot more likely to bounce, in my opinion. You know, as we said, kind of coming into the week, this week and the week prior, someone else asked about it. I do think this one's still long-term bearish as long as you're below about 34 cents. Unfortunately, above 34 cents, yeah, I guess it's moon time yet again. But for right now, daily, you know, I wouldn't call this a low just yet. I need to see it close above about 23.5. Or 24 cents would look really, really good. And then, yes, I'd be looking for a retest of your 12th of November highs, very likely to pull back there and then probably tries into the shallow 30s. But as long as you're below 30 cents, I do still look at this one as likely to work its way much further south over time, actually. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but, you know, at the same time, I have to call charts in the way that I see them, obviously. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? Doesn't mean that I'm going to be right about it, of course, but, you know, this is a parabolic blow off top right here. So next move up is probably going to be what's known as the good old bull trap, or, you know, the, what's it called, complacency bounce. And I think that that's what you're setting up for. That can come anywhere into like the shallow 30 cent region. If you do start to maintain on a closing basis above your last spike high over here, okay, you know, it's probably gonna be good again, I guess. You know, you can start talking about moon targets, I suppose, again. But until then, you know, still corrective long term, but short term bouncy, and probably does put in a nice low right here. To be fair, even the short term time frames are, well, actually, we got a little bit of hidden bearish evidence 4 minutes stuff right there. But I wouldn't even be looking for the next move down, to be quite honest to you, unless you start to close dailies below about 16.5 cents below there. Yeah, I look for another grind down below probably 10 cents at that point. I mean, personally speaking, I think that this one's going to go a lot lower over time. But hey, you know, I'm probably just going to make the whole Hex crew mad now, and they're going to come after me. So you know what? It's bullish as fuck, guys. It's going to the moon and beyond. No worries. Sorry, man. Much love to you, though, Toby. Much love to you, sir. BK says CVX versus Wrapped Ethereum. I think did we look at it? No, that was CRV. Okay, so another reward token here. Not great on the monthly. Daily, bouncy, but long-term, are we toppy here? Okay, that's not charted for the daily. Let's chart this one specifically on the daily as you requested. And then you want the 5-day as well. Interesting. I do think it's very likely to bounce off here. Bounce can come back up to 0.065 or 68 region. But I do look at this one as potentially a major top here, as long as you're below about 7.5 in this case. Short term, it is bouncy, though. I do like it for a bounce here. And actually, daily is going to be putting in some hidden bullish evidence. If it can just bounce off this region right here, back above yesterday's high, we will have, I wouldn't say significantly new lows on there, but ever so slightly new lows, and probably does put in a bounce. 5-day, however, how are we looking like right here? I think sideways at best, man. Honestly, the 5-day does suggest a bit of a top and does suggest that it will work its way down towards 431 region, or sorry, not 431, but like 445 to 46 region, and try for a bounce there. And I'm a lot more inclined to say that's probably the right way on this one after a bounce off of this current level. Let's see, Crypto Slave, thanks for that, man. But no message, sir. Just an emoticon. Well, fair enough. All good. Danimal said, oh, he has knowledge of the moons. Hey, so apparently this bull moon has some mega lunar eclipse, latest in 1,000 years. Is that bullish or bearish? Hey, what's up, Adam Limber? Appreciate that, man. But feel free to have a message as well. It looks like maybe got lost. Crypto Slave, I think you're probably trying to put in a message. If it's getting deleted by YouTube, please just repost the message and tag Elsa. You might need to change around some of the words because YouTube will auto moderate some comments. Because I don't know, they just don't like it or what, who knows what the fuck they're doing. But yeah, I understand this is annoying, but unfortunately that's the best that we can do. Philosophian says, hello from down under. What's up, man? The lunar eclipse in San Diego. Okay, so is the lunar eclipse like this today or this weekend? Is that the one where you shouldn't look at the sun? Or no, that'll be lunar eclipse. I don't know, man. I need to learn the moons, man. I need to learn the moons. Probably don't need to learn the moons. I'm just going to consult with one of them witches over there. Anyways, AMP, USD, Gemini 4-hour daily, weekly. Sure, man. We haven't looked at this one in a very long time now. I remember it was very good over the summer, or am I thinking of this one right? Yeah, and last time we looked at it, it was not great. And I wouldn't say that it's terrible here, but it's ranging at best, man. Ranging at best. And I do think that you're going to end up testing around the bottom side of the range, whether that be like, you know, somewhere around about 4.25 or 4 cent even, something like that. Do you bounce off there again? Probably yes. But it's not that interesting of a chart here long term. Yeah, I do think it's going to test around there, probably bounce again. Big problems, however, below about 3.8 cent. Below there, yeah, this one falls apart. Until then, I think that you can still make some excuses for it, but sideways at best within this region. Wouldn't get excited about it long term as long as you're below about like 7.5 cent or so. Scott Lawless, welcome to the cave as well. Steph Wilson says, hello, pronoun. Thank you. That's me, I think. CTI, USD, KuCoin, 4-hour daily. Thank you, pronoun. Nice. See what you did there. Put a little parentheses as well. And it's like you can just automate all of our fucking speech from now on. Clintex. Okay. Yeah, no. 4-hour on daily. Shit. Sorry. A shitcoin of a chart. You, probably a great person. This, terrible chart. Probably comes back down and tests around that last wick low, about 5.5 cent or so. You know, are you even putting in some bullish evidence on a 4-hour? You actually are. I guess if you confirm a local low here by trading back above 7.3 cent, I'd be looking for a little bit of a rally back up somewhere around to 7.6 to 7.8 cent. It might not be relevant for you, but if you're on a daily, I think that max upside is like 7.7 cent actually, and then probably trades to the downside again. Sideways at best here, and honestly, that's hopium. That's hopium, man. I think sideways at best for a very long time at best. In short term, very, very short term, probably bouncy. Medium term, very likely comes back down. Then again, probably going to follow whatever Bitcoin does, but this one certainly on the relatively weak side of the equation. And I'm going to take another sippy sip of these waters while you marinate on those thoughts, sir. There we go. There we go. What's up, Colin Penrod? Welcome to the cave as well, sir. Welcome to the cave. Michael Ellis says, hey, Krown, can you check out Naka USD on the 4-hour? Okay. This is another one that I am very much unfamiliar with. It's Nakamoto Games. I'm going to guess that it's probably gaming crypto or something like that. It's okay here. Short term more bouncy, or it's not that it's bouncy. It's actually short term looking for a little bit of a reversal, probably back up to your prior range highs, somewhere around about $4 or so. Somewhere right around here. I do like this as a higher low, and I don't really have any reason to be like bearish on it long term as long as you're above that last major low, which is 235. Until then, sideways and short term up is kind of what I'd be looking for there. Above 410, I'd actually be looking at this one as quite good and very likely to retest its prior all-time highs over time. But short term, it's showing very likely another test to the top side of that range right there. It's actually okay. Interesting chart, actually, in all things considered. Crypto full time says, hey, can you check out INJ? Okay, so this is, well, this is something that I don't think I know. Injective protocol. Okay, on Binance, I guess. And I guess I've charted it before, so when was this? Looks like we're still playing off this from way back when, but did we break it yesterday? Probably yes. This is why I do not like diagonals. Like, is it broken or not? I don't fucking know. It's not super clear on that one. Anyways, you're looking at no time frames given, so you're not looking at shit, sir. You know, do I think this one trades down here? Probably down towards like 9.25. Probably yes. 4 hour weak, definitely relatively weak compared to most things on this market, but yeah, barely even getting there right now too. I do think that this one does test a little bit further south before something resembling a bounce. And again, do not confuse bounce with a reversal. I suspect that you're probably more interested in like where to actually get excited about this thing. Now you didn't include any color on that question, so I'm just guessing here, but there's nothing to really get excited about on this thing as long as it's below 13.5. Until then, it's sideways at best, short term, a little bit of downside. Above 13.5, yep, bullish again, you know, would look pretty damn good, but until then, pray to Boolah Jesus, I suppose. Again, you know, if Bitcoin bounces and pulls itself back up, this thing probably does the same thing as well, but not strong on its own. Very much not strong on its own. Looks like it doesn't trade too much itself. Zico says, hey man, what's up, man? Can you check TVK USD? I think we've seen this one in the last couple of days here, so let's see where we're at yet again. Although Terra Virtua. We must have done this one on the daily. Yes, we did, or the weekly actually. But you are on a what? Daily. Okay, so we'll do a daily for you then. Weird looking chart here actually. Not a humongous fan of this chart long term, but could be worse. It certainly could be worse. I mean, it's certainly not among the worst charts that we've seen today. 4 hour time frame. I know you didn't ask for it, but it does actually help with the short term range here. Anywhere between about 30 cents and your 39 and 3/4 cent high right there is okay, I guess. Short term, are we seeing any sort of divergences build up? Yeah, we are. If you can just put in a little bit of a local low right here and then pop back up above about 34.25, that would be confirmation of that, and I'd be looking for it to retest somewhere around about 37, maybe 38 cents. If you're specifically asking about a daily, yeah, not as good of a look on a daily. Below about 30 cents, I do look for this one to test down towards 27.5 or so. Until then, it's actually not the worst long term. I suppose I'll give you another set of hopium, but there's also some doomium included. You know, you could be playing off this trend line long term. That would imply that if you do break below the 55, probably gonna be looking at a big move down to like 20 cents, but actually still be long term okay, I guess. I really don't trust those long term or just really any diagonal trend lines, but weekly still okay. So I'm inclined to say that it probably does bounce from here and hold it. Or bounce relatively soon. If you do see it break below about 27 cents, that's where I get more concerned on this one. Young Wang says, Young Wang, hello, sir. Welcome to the cave. Justin Young, Young Wang and Justin Young. What's up, Justin Young? Good morning to you, man. It's been a while. It has been a while. Can we look at XRP 4 hour daily weekly? Massive profits for all as usual, and it's freezing in Hong Kong at 22. What the fuck? It's 22 there?
Yeah, I already said I hate him.
Wow. Really? I guess you guys don't really have a winter then. It's just always perpetually summer. Let's see. What are we doing right here? The hopium is failing for XRP. What are we going to do? Well, nothing for me because I don't hold this shit. Kidding. Well, I don't. But, well, are we seeing any sort of divergences build up right here? Yes, we are on the 4 hour. We did make lower lows. So you know what? In this case, how would you confirm this is a local low? Just need to see a trade back above about 106.25, and then yes, I'd be having a short-term target somewhere around about $1.09.5, $1.10, and then maybe extension of 113.5 if things, especially turn up on Bitcoin. Probably Bitcoin around like 59, if that were to happen. If it does start to take out this last little swing high here on the 4 hour at about 112.5, at that point I'd be looking for it to retest around your 15th of November highs at about $1.22, and that would look okay. Daily. It is still kind of within a bouncy territory right here, but I guess I'll just leave it like that. Weekly, don't like it. Weekly does not look strong. Barring, assuming that this one doesn't bounce before Sunday back up above like 114, 115. Next major area is going to be down like 90 cents. So I guess there's a little bit of hopium there. What does the monthly look like still? Monthly is actually still okay, but it could still be okay with a move down to low 90 cents. So do be aware of that. Long term, I'm still not going to hate a chart like this. It's still okay. It's still actually okay long term, but man, it's kind of similar to Link in the sense that it just keeps on failing at its most critical region. So not a sign of strength. Definitely a little bit more on the weaker side, but hey, if Bitcoin bounces and expect this one to bounce as well. And yeah, you are starting to build up side vertices, so probably like that a balance short term, and then come back to it after the weekend, I'd say. El Rey Leon says Long Beach in the house. There he is. Can you check out PYR on the weekly? Okay. What is this one? Are we looking at a stock or crypto? I'm guessing a crypto, probably, given the context of this channel. But I'm happy to look at stocks as well. Actually pretty good here. I was not expecting this. This would be another one that's among one of the better charts that we've seen today. Not just not playing with Bitcoin, but it's literally doing the opposite of Bitcoin right here. Pretty much making new all-time highs. And I expect that it's probably going to make more new all-time highs from here. I have nothing bearish to say about this thing as long as you're especially above $21 short term. Weekly's going to very likely close on new all-time highs. Probably looking for one more grind towards new all-time highs before this one does correct a bit. Daily RSI is still, more or less healthy right here and suggestive of one more grind to the upside. Volatility is actually already worked off of extreme conditions and now increasing again alongside trend continuation. I can't be bearish on something like this. In fact, I have to be the opposite of that. I have to be bullish on something like this. This is good. Very, very good, actually. Again, be aware of where the invalidation points are. But even then, if you took out that region, it's not that it'd be like long-term bearish. It'd just be corrective, probably down to like $16 or so. But among some of the better charts that we've seen today, absolutely. Very, very interesting, man. Thank you for bringing that one up. And what's up, Bimmer? Thank you for joining the cave as a commander, sir. Kyro Man says, good morning from Norway, Krown. What's up, man? I'm curious, is Norway more cold than Finland? Could you, Elsa says yes. I mean, they basically are the same place. So it's colder. Okay, well, it's already pretty damn cold here, so whatever. Could you have a look at Super? Sure. Looks like it's holding up pretty good. All right, so it is a gaming token. This is Elio's coin right here. Let's see. Maybe this market is getting bifurcated in terms. Yeah, it's actually holding up really well. Okay. Hey, not bad, man. Good job, Elliot. Holy shit. I think this one's graduating from shitcoin territory into not shitcoin territory. Good. Very, very nice. What do we have right here? Well, looks to me like we have a little bit of a daily low. Still, you can't really get too excited about something like this. Oh, Jesus Christ. I've charted this one for every goddamn time from here. Let's chart it just for the daily. Still can't get too excited about this thing. Same thing as before, as long as you're below about $2 on a daily closure. Above there, this thing can actually quite rip. Let's go back to the weekly. Remember that this one had targets up to like $3 on a break of $2. Yeah, or sorry, next target on a break of $2 would be about 260 to 265 region. Personally speaking, I do think that you'd kind of gun for your last major April highs at about $3 if that were to be met. But again, another one that's acting, relatively well here. Dare I say, more on the strong side. Anyways. Short term, are you a bit more rangy than not? I mean, you technically do have some hidden bearish evidence right there. I don't look at that as playable, actually, until you come back down and take out not this 4-hour low, but the prior one to that at 152. Below there, I'd be looking for another grind out at your current low side structure, in the 130s, 135 region to 140-ish region. I would not call a breakdown, however, until I actually fully close below 135. And at that point, I'd be looking for this one to correct just down to about 120. And still, that'd be long-term bullish on something like this. This one only loses its macro bullishness below 120. Below 120, yeah, this one's going to look pretty damn bad, back down to like 85 cents or so. Until then, going sideways within this range is actually a sign, it's actually a signal of strength. If you can take out the high side of this range at about $1.65, which I don't think is necessarily happening right now, but if you could, I'd be looking for not a move towards $2, but a move towards about 180 to 185 region, and that would just make this look better. So holding up relatively well, and hey, not bad for Super. The Praetorian says SCRT. Hey, thank you for that. I would like to stay healthy, and hopefully you stay healthy as well, sir. SCRT, Secret Network. Cool. Versus BUSD. Oh dear Lord. Okay. Daily and weekly, bad. Corrective at best. Nothing bullish about this thing as long as you're below about 885, 887 region. Weekly, I mean, there's not much of a weekly chart here, but whatever it is, it's not great. Short term, I'm inclined to say this one comes back down to about $6.50. 4-hour time frame. Maybe a short-term bounce in between there to 775, but again, probably easy to watch Bitcoin for a bouncy bounce, of which maybe we go back to it really quickly right here. Bitcoin looks like it still wants to put in one more move a little bit further south first, and then maybe try for a bounce off of 54, 55, Yeah, I think it's pretty damn close right there though, and that one should bounce with it, but not among the strong ones. Certainly a little bit more on the relatively weak side. Noah 97 says Algo USD daily, please. All right, let's check this one out. So yesterday got that major massive pump up to our $3 targets from earlier this month, and then sold off almost immediately. And where are we at right now? Yeah, not great, man. So it did close the day not even above, barely even above the 55, and not above anything else. So we pumped up about 90%. Closed the day 18, basically 19% right there. It's not a great sign, man. I would still not necessarily get bearish on this thing as long as you're above about 155, but short-term timeframes look like they want to pop back down and test around there, whether that be like 160 to 165 region. I think that's rather likely. Hidden bearish divergence on this current high going on right here, hourly. Yeah, not great right there, man. Still, you know, I don't think that you're going to see the sustained breakout until you officially close above this region, which is the validation condition of probably another test towards $3 again. But until that happens, man, a little bit of sideways and down short term. I'd be looking for another bounce off of like 160 to 165 region. I'd only get bearish on this thing below 155 and, you know, look for moves down to 120 after that. I don't think that that's what's happening right there, but that'd be my condition for that. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Legend LEZs. There he is. Can we look at black gold? XOP. Holy shit, man. My mentor loved trading this thing. I fucking hated it, man. This is like the degen thing to trade if you're in traditional markets. I am kind of a hater of this one. I fucking hate it. I just have bad memories of this one. Bearish divergence on the weekly right here. While I do think it's short-term bouncing on a daily, probably does play back down to like 96 to 96 and a half over the next few weeks here. Monthly. Weird on the monthly. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm bearish on the monthly, but weekly I do think plays down a little bit from here over the next few weeks. Anyways, you were asking about daily, weekly. Okay, so let's go back to a daily. Daily, inclined to say that one's short-term bouncy, but let's see what like an hourly looks like. I don't know on the short term. Look, if it bounces back up today and closes Friday back above about $1.08, I would be bullish on this one. That's going to negate your weekly bearish divergence, and you know the monthly probably takes over at that point, and you probably see like 130s over the next few months here. Until then, though, I'm a lot more inclined to go with what's on the weekly right here. I just want to see a closure below that level, and then yes, over the next few weeks, I'd feel quite confident looking for a move down to like, I don't know, 95, 96 bucks. And good to see you, man. What's up, Symbol MS? He's back. Storage 4-hour and daily on Binance. Okay. STORJ. This is another 2017 shite coin. And I think it might have even survived. Barely survived. Did test around its 2017 highs. Didn't necessarily make new all-time highs, but this was actually okay right here. This would actually be counted among the strong. And what do you know, on the weekly jewel? Oh, this is actually quite a good signal on the weekly jewel. I actually really like that signal right there, to be honest with you. Now, I'm not going to trade this thing, but I'll just live vicariously through you. Of course, it's not financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, but weekly RSI is strong right there as well. You're not asking about those timeframes, so you're asking about a daily. Daily is also good. Just want to see it close above 205. And then, yes, I'm looking for this one to retest your wick high from late October and probably played a little bit of a pullback from there, but this one's looking for continuation, man. This one's good. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour. I think this one's ready to kind of trend right here, man. This is actually quite good. There's an invalidation, as always, below 169.5. But until then, man, a very, very interesting chart right here, and among one of the better ones. It has quite a nice setup right there. VRA, 12-hour weekly, sure. Okay, this is Veracity. All right. Not among the strong. We got a weak piece of shit. Do we have any bullish divergences for me? Yeah, a little bit, I suppose. Again, going to require a bouncy Bitcoin back above about 5.9 cent. You will confirm that bullish divergence, and I would be looking for a move towards 6.5 cent. Maybe if things get really crazy, 7.5 cent. Above 7.5 cent, this thing actually looks good again. I don't think that's quite likely from here, but that would be my condition for that. Until then, kind of have to be bearish as long as you're below there, to be fair. With, you know, your next range lows coming in from here at about, oh dear Lord, too many lines. Let's just plot the only one that matters right now. You know, short-term bouncy, long-term, do I think it comes down just below 5 cents? Probably yes, and tries for a base there. Again, follow whatever Bitcoin does on this one. It looks like it's not really having strength on its own. Owner 232 says, Krown, do you think traditional markets are reaching a top and ready for a recession in the next year? Notice tech is entered in. I mean, tech's been in a FOMO stage for a long time. It's not really a FOMO stage. What's going on is that, well, we have the easiest monetary policy in history going on right now. So people are buying up assets and inflating them to the fucking moon and beyond. Anyways, let's just go look at NASDAQ kind of representing the tech sector here. Obviously, financials are included there too. Do I think this one's toppy right now? No, actually, no. In fact, I think this one's going to go for some new highs, probably even today, or well, let's see. Maybe today, probably next week. I would only say that this one's toppy below about 16,200. Look, people have been trying to call a top on this market for like 10 years now. The path of least resistance is still to the upside here. I know it sounds fucking crazy, and believe me, I think that this market doesn't have too much more left in it, but I wouldn't necessarily call a top just yet, man. But you're asking in the next year. I can't see that far out, man. I can't see anything, to be fair, but that, you know, a year out, I don't know if I'd say that. Quarterly is still bullish here. So I'd say at least Q1 2022 or Q2 2022. I'm probably not looking for tops. Maybe after that, if we see some topping behavior, but we don't see it just yet. I know this chart's absolutely ridiculous, even more ridiculous on linear scale. But look, as long as that Fed balance sheet keeps expanding and interest rates are very low, don't fight the trend. Don't fight the Fed. Meeker says, I hope Bitcoin stops shitting the bed. Flux, please. Okay. I hope too Bitcoin stops shitting the bed. Hate cleaning up that damn bed. Flux over here, not great. Well, I mean, it had a great run, no doubt about that, but this one's very toppy. Short term, probably another move down to like 169, 170-ish region, probably tries for a bounce there, but I think that you've got a long-term top in place as long as you're below about 260 in this case. Working off extreme conditions over here. Yes, you're probably setting up for a bounce relatively soon, but I think you got one more grind of the lows and then maybe a bounce back up. Short term, I'd be looking for this one to test around, you know, your 260 to 269 level. If you do close on a forward, it'll back above about 230 in this case. Until then, I think it's sideways at best, but personally speaking, I think that this one does trade south from here. But the hopium is back above about I said 269 before. Make that 260. Okay, let's see. Richard J says, can you send me some of the whatever caffeine you're on? It's actually just supermarket coffee. Just go there every morning to get my early morning meats, and then I go get coffee as well. It's actually rather small too. In the meantime, can you look at AAA Moon Rabbit? Oh man, this is going to be a good one. Sir, you have a very like professional profile picture there, and you're asking about fucking Moon Rabbit. It's not even on TradingView. That's how shitty this thing is, man. That's not a good sign. Maybe we try this. I have one more trick to find it. Okay. I can't find it, man. Sorry. Let's see. Maybe we try this. Yeah, that's it, man. Unfortunately, it's not on TradingView, so I'm inclined to say that it's either way too new or it's literally that shitty of a shitcoin. With a name like Moon Rabbit, I am inclined to say probably questionable. Moon Rabbit. Would you also like Doggylon coin or Doggylon Mars coin or Shiba coin or fucking derp your herp coin or skirp your derp and merp and lose all your fucking money and shitcoin coin?
No, just repeat.
I see someone in the chat says, Krown, your thumbnail is all wrong. You need to have a scared face for your thumbnail. Like this. It's fucking stupid, man. I can't do it, man. It's like, what are you doing? I just can't imagine like people doing these thumbnails where they're like, okay, I need a good thumbnail for today. All right, I've been planning this one for a long time. Need my views up, and I know that if I do a stupid face, I'm gonna get those views. Like, no, that wasn't stupid enough, man. Oh, that wasn't stupid enough. It's like, what the fuck is what the fuck? Who started this trend? It works though, I guess. It works. Aggressive. I'm gonna do a stupid face for one of my thumbnails just to see. So fucking dumb. Aggressive Crypto says, can we see H bar 1 hour and 4 hour? Sure, man. Let's see what we got over here. I derp a hash graph. Haven't seen this one in a while, and now I see why. No one cares about it when it goes down. Not great, man. Not great. But you're asking about an hourly and a 4 hour, so let's just go to that. No divergences to be found just yet. Where's your last range lows in this case? I mean, shit, man, this one can get kind of nasty. Let's actually chart it for this time frame. I think obvious bounces at around 32.5 cent. Maybe short-term bounces like at around 34.5 cent. I'd be a lot more confident on the 32.5 cent. And again, long-term, is this one toppy or not? Well, it should bounce around there, to be fair. I mean, can't get destroyed in one day. Let's see, what about a weekly? Weekly is actually, well, no. Weekly is still corrective. Yeah, I do think that you're going to trade down to about 32.5 cent or so before it's all said and done. If things get really nasty, I'm looking for this one to trade all the way down to like 25 cents. I know you didn't ask for these time frames here, but it is important to be aware of where we're at in the grand scheme of things. And 1, 2, 3 drops of bearish evidence on a weekly right now, which is just a few days away from getting confirmed. So again, you know, hoping is it doesn't get confirmed. Usually I'm going to target down to the 55, and that's much further south, sir. Quadruple A says from Toronto. Cool. Check Ethereum Solana for 4-hour and daily. Want to convert some of my Ethereum to Solana. Have you tried trading instead? Sorry, man, I can't help myself. But hey, that's called trading, sir. That's called trading. Anyways, I understand what you're meaning. I understand what you're saying. I just am being a dickhead. Sorry about that. Is this the top? Is this the top that I've been hearing about or not? I'm actually, man, this one's either extremely fucking bullish or about to top out for a very long time. I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one does have some short-term moves to the upside, probably back up towards 68 or so. But you're probably long-term. No, you're on a 4-hour daily. Okay, short-term, yeah, I do think that it goes back up towards 65 or so. 4-hour. Same thing. Yeah. So if you're just asking about a 4-hour daily, yeah, I do think you have some upside right there. If you're asking about the macro, that's where I'm not as confident this one remains bullish, but it's okay for now. It's okay for now. At least on the daily, it's good. What's up, encrypted broker? Hello, my friend. Can you take a look at what?
Do you remember, have you seen Super Chat from Jack?
From Jack? No, I actually haven't seen from Jack.
Okay, yeah, because I can't find it.
Okay. Encrypted broker says, can you take a look at Hive BTC on Binance? Yeah, it's actually gonna be interesting to see. I'm interested myself to see some Bitcoin pairings here. Let's see. Let's go to a daily. It's actually okay. It's putting in a bit of a base here and probably does rally up towards 22.50. In fact, is this one breaking out from there? No. It's not like a big breakout. Let's see. What about a weekly? You didn't give me a time frame to go off of, so I'm kind of just guessing what you're looking at, but I do think this one's actually showing more good signs than not. I just want to see like a daily or weekly closure of about 1900, and then I'd be looking for this one to go on a bit of a rip, probably somewhere around your last spike wick high. Man, that thing is probably liquid as all shit. First target would be about 24.30. Do I think that things would stop there? I'd actually be looking somewhere around this failure point as like a max at 30.40 or so. But for now, I mean, it's actually quite good, and there's not really any reason for me to be bearish on it as long as you're below, above about 14.50 or so. Mandica, welcome to the cave as well. Admiral Blue says, hey, Krown, could you take a look at FTT 1 hour and 4 hour? Sure. So this is the old FTX coin right there. We'll do this one right here, and let's go. Yeah, weekly does look not great, I'll say, but you didn't ask about that. You asked about a 4 hour. Okay, so you're starting to put in some bullish divergence right here. Momentum offsets are showing more bouncy than not. Yeah, same thing over here. I'm looking for a bounce short term, maybe one more test of 48 or so, but I wouldn't necessarily call this one a breakdown until you actually close a 4 hour dildo below about 47.5. That would kind of invalidate what I'm about to speak about next. So maybe short term, another test down around there, but ultimately I do think this one bounced up towards like 54.5 before it's all said and done. If things get really crazy above 54, I'd be looking for like 56. But again, easier to watch Bitcoin in this case. Probably plays around with it. You know, you're right on your prior range lows, so more likely to bounce here than not. Not a humongous fan of the weekly as it is right now, but hey, we still got a few more days to go, so could salvage itself possibly. Mark Harrison says, link please, sir. Any time frame on it getting link BTC to 0.5 and 0.5. Man, whoa. We got some bills to pay, it sounds like. What? Not 0.5? Oh, you probably mean 5,000 Satoshis, not like 50 million Satoshis. Probably that's what you mean. I think that's most likely what you mean. Maybe that's not what you mean, in which case, quite concerning. But end of November, no, man, this one's lucky to go sideways before end of November, in my opinion. And to be honest with you, I think it's going to test around 4,000 again. Link is just, Link has been such a disappointment, actually. Most of this year, had so many chances to break out, so many failures at that. I think it was like $35 level or whatever it was, and just not one of the strong ones anymore, man. I think at best this one's trading sideways here and going through. This is a little more hopium than anything, but going through a long form accumulation, possible still. But do I think that you're getting ready to for another test of this region right here? Probably yes. Do I think it'll move up to 5,000 before end of month? I think that's possible. Actually, it's really not far away from 5,000. Okay, if you're talking about 5,000 satoshis, and you don't mean 0.5, which is a humongously different number, then yeah, I do think it's definitely possible. I mean, that's really quite close to where we're at right now. I do think short term it probably trades a little bit sideways and down, but end of month, could it bounce back up around there? Yeah, I wouldn't be asking for too much. Even the 4-hour time frame might even get you there, as it is starting to put in a little bit of bouncy behavior and bottoming behavior here. But if you're talking about 0.5, well, seen as it's never even gotten there ever in its most bullish ever, I'm inclined to say probably not. But if it's just 5,000, yeah, probably yes. OMG says, what?
Can we do checks now?
Yep. Does Jack want to look at Ethereum Bitcoin?
It's on below. Also make the announcement.
Okay, what does Jack want to look at? Can you just tell me?
It's on the below.
Can you just tell me? Because then I have to scroll all the way down there. Okay, Ethereum Bitcoin 4 on daily. All right, yeah, post it and I can do it. All right, let's see. Man, we actually looked at this very briefly earlier, but this is actually kind of giving me a lot more hoping with Bitcoin. This is really, really good, man. Again, same thing as yesterday and the days prior. Based off the 55 is just to be considered a bit of a correction. And overall bullish. I'm looking for this one to trade back up towards your range highs at 7.4. And does this break out above there? I mean, you got a few good things going on right there. So daily BBWP is contracted all the way through this whole correction right here. So that's, going to imply bullish resolution. Daily RSI has hidden bullish divergence formulated itself. And, while I think it's going to test around there, I think it's actually going to have a good chance to break above there. Daily Jewel is about to come into a bouncy posturing as well. All right, I see that. Wait, Elsa, post it. All right, well, whatever. Anyways, above about 7.4 million satoshis, I look forward to test around your prior macro range highs, which is, what is it, 7.5 or 7.7? Sorry, 7.7 in this case. All higher term time frames, still very much bullish on this one, man. I really, really like it. This one's pulling through at like the right time. All right, let's see how long it takes to actually update on my thingy over here. All right, I see it now. Okay, so it takes like 2 seconds or 5 seconds maybe. But yeah, 4-hour time frame's looking good, man. Looking good. I'd be looking for short-term extension to 0.73. Very good. Very, very good. So Ethereum holding up relatively well here. Obviously, this does not mean that Ethereum is going to be bullish versus the dollar, but it is a good sign overall, at least in my opinion. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me get back to the chatties over here. There we go. OMG says GameStop daily weekly. Dear Lord. Oh God, not this monstrosity, but I'm kind of curious to see where it is. Let's maybe not go to that one. I'm guessing you want to look at this one. Actually, okay, right here. Did put in a higher low, probably short term back up to 222. I think we looked at this one earlier this week and we said the same thing, and it still hasn't gone there. Wow, taking its time. But look, I mean, to be fair, like if you're just looking at straight up TA, this one is actually no, it's not that. It's actually okay if you're just looking at straight TA. I mean, you got higher lows on a weekly and you got the same highs and some, well, maybe not something like that, but maybe not something like that, but it's okay. I'm inclined to say that this one's going to top out and probably not see above 275, or at least not on a weekly closing basis. I mean, again, I think that this one's coming back down below $50 in the next year. It's probably some more like that. But hey, if you're just going off straight technical analysis, which typically is what I do, actually would be looking for this one, at least short term, to go back up towards not just 222, but like 225 region. Above there, I mean, I guess above 270, yeah, it is bullish again, but I think that I'm kind of promoting a little bit more hopium than what's probably going to happen here, to be honest with you. Electric Boss is Silver USD. So you mean like XAG? I guess you mean this. We'll go to forex.com and you're looking at no time frames given, but yeah, we looked at this one on a weekly about a week or two ago, and we said this is a bottoming formation right here. It's an inverted head and shoulders, and yes, it is. I do think that is breaking out. It's going to take some time though. This is a weekly chart, obviously, but targets back up to your prior range highs at around $28 to $28.50 over the next, I don't know, few months. more or less likely. Monthly is a reversal here as well. Yeah, I think this one has some upside from here. Don't know what time frames you're going off of, but higher term time frames good for a low. Just going to take some time, probably a few months there. Rocket Kelly says Solana 6 hour, weekly, and 5 day. I think we already looked at this one, but maybe not on those time frames. So we'll just briefly go back to it here for a second. 5 day, huh? 5 day and a weekly. Why look at a 5 day and a weekly? 5 day is toppy and actually shows some more downside, down to 165 over time. Weekly says bounce here. Daily says bounce here. 6 hour says showing a little bit of short-term bottoming behavior here. So probably does bounce here short-term. Long-term, really don't want to see it lose 195. Otherwise, yeah, I would be looking at 165. Let's see. Tuwan Lee says, can check out OHM coin, please? Okay. All right. Ohm. This thing? Oh, yeah. This thing, I think. Olympus DAO. Not great. Really bad, actually. Pretty damn bad here. Again, gonna require a very strong broad market to do anything of note. I think best it does see upside on like a Bitcoin bounces, maybe like a 950 to 1,000 long term. Long term, I'm not liking this one. I do think it's probably more bouncy here than not, but over time, I think that it will find its way back down to about $600. But short term, bouncy. Long term, yeah, long term not great. Long term not great, but short term it is bouncy. Could get back up to like 900 plus, but as long as this thing's below, what is it, about 1100, I'm long term bearish on something like this and looking for majorly new lows. No time frames given though, so I don't really know where you want me to go with on that one. Simply Gain says CRV. We already looked at that one. It was good on the higher term time frames. Sean K says, yeah, loop ring. Okay. Loop ring over here. I still stick with my top call on this one. Now, is it bouncy? Well, you didn't give me any time frames to go off of, but is it bouncy short term? Perhaps yes. Again, going to require a stronger broad market. This one's not really going to be strong on its own, but long term, I do think that it will find its way down somewhere to about $2 before the next sort of decent bounce, even on like a medium term time frame. Hourly is actually showing some short term downside right here, probably at least another drive towards 220. Weekly, I think this one's long-term toppy. Going to hit extreme conditions on weekly BBWP, 5 days, same thing, daily, same thing. I think this one's going to bounce here and go sideways at best. At worst, bounces back up maybe into like the mid to upper twos and then, comes back down and finds its way long-term towards like 150 to 160-ish region. It's not going to be a straight line. And again, short-term, like very short-term, grind out your lows once again, probably bounce there. And then maybe over the next few weeks comes lower. Nimai Titcomb says, could you look at Metris USD for our daily? Okay, it's a new one. Metris, Metis, not on TradingView, unfortunately, so I can't bring it up, but I can look at the Ethereum pairing if that's okay for you. And it's actually pretty good. It's actually very good right here. It's very bullish. Now, not a whole hell of a lot of history, and how much do I trust something like this? I don't know, but I guess I would be looking for...
Hey, whoa.
What?
Metis.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm probably looking towards not 3. It's actually quite good. Whatever the fuck this thing is, but yeah, not bad. And thank you, man. Dr. Bula says, morning, good sir. Please preach us a very convinced Bula Jesus prayer. We damn need it right now. Have a good weekend, man. You as well, sir. And I'll see you in the Discord, man. Dark Magic Dank says, it says nothing. No message, man. Oh, no, I see it right there. All good, man. All good. You're... You super chatted to ask, could anyone spare some money on Cash App? $sign Mr. Blazer. I'm sorry. Oh, I think he's just advertising his Cash App so that people send him mustn't. I mean, it doesn't really make sense to like send in a super chat for that, but fair enough. Your life, sir. Admiral Blue, FTT. We already looked at that one. I don't know if we looked at it on those time frames though, but maybe we just go back to it ever so short term. Short-term bouncy, yeah, I remember this one. Short-term, maybe one more grind of the lows, but bouncy after that. Again, watch Bitcoin for bounces, though. Going to matter more in this case. Frivolous says, longest lunar eclipse in 500 years, like 2 hours long, going over the Midwest currently. Please tell Krown. All right, interesting. Don't know what to make out of that. I need to consult with the witches. Let's see. From Greece. Hey, cool, man. Mr. Lianos, Zil, please. Okay, no time frames given, so I'm going with the daily in this case. Daily and a 4 hour as usual. Not great here, man. Another chart that's had too many chances to break above 13 cents and just doesn't take it. Not a great sign of strength. Kind of reminiscent of Link in this case. I guess the hopium here though is something like this. You see something like this, or even that's actually breaking. So even my diagonal hopium, which I don't believe in anyways, is probably not going to be great. 4 hour, are we setting up for a bounce relatively soon? Yes, we should be making some divergences here. Yeah, on this next local low. So it probably does bounce up, you know, somewhere around 9.5, maybe even 10 cents if things get crazy, but can't really love this chart for myself on a daily as long as you're below about 10.5 cent. So short term, a lot more close to a bounce than not. Long term, corrective at best in my opinion. Eric Harrison says, hello, Krown. Can you look kindly at CHR? Okay, 1 4 hour and weekly. You included time frames. That's good. Nice. All right, let's try this. Guess Binance. Weird. It's actually okay. I mean, should give it the benefit of the doubt when you're ranging at the highs, but short term, is it likely to come back down and test around your range lows? I mean, I actually give this one the benefit of the doubt as long as you're above $1. Below $1, yeah, this one falls apart and probably going to be looking towards about 77 to 80 cents or so. Until then, sideways is good for the Bulas, but similar to the other ones, I think this one does go sideways at best here for a while. And I'd get very excited for new optimize above 133.5, looking at for probably big moves in this one because this one's actually acting relatively well and relatively strong. You know, targets after that would be like 155 and maybe even 180 over time. I mean, it obviously take a long time, but it'd be good. AutoLink says, Hypa hey, greetings from warm Finland. Yeah, exactly. Warm Finland indeed, man. Can you please check Wise PLC? Okay. Why? Okay, this. Okay, you don't have to put USD if it's a regular stock, by the way, just so you know. Terrible. Absolutely god-awful. Absolutely fucking god awful, man. All bounces get sold into. You know, maybe get another bounce here towards like $800, but unless you got inside information on something like this, is just a pile of hot steaming garbage. Weekly, it's just a black hole breakdown. Yeah, you're just looking at it daily. Oh, this is TransferWise, really? Huh, I'd expect them to be doing better, but heavily bearish long term as long as you're below about 960. So short term can bounce. But as long as below 960, man, direction is sideways and down, sir. Mr. Soukalos, yeah, definitely Greek. Thanks, man. Care to take a look at IVR on the 4 hour daily weekly? Sure, IVR USD. And again, fellas, we do have to ask that. Oh, this one's not on TradingView, is it? Yeah, it's not there. I guess I thought I've actually looked at this one before. Maybe we could try this. Yeah, apparently it's not on TradingView, man. I do apologize, but we can't look at it if it's not on TradingView. We are limited by that, of course. Lance says, hi, sir. Tell me how Floki versus Ethereum will change the world. All right. I'll try. No promises, man. No promises on this one, but 4 hour and hourly. All right. Well, easy time frames here. Actually okay for a local low. I think this one does trade up from here, somewhere around 520 to 525 region. If things really get crazy, maybe even guns for your 13th of November highs at 600. I don't know about changing the world, but short term it is more bouncy than not, and probably going to continue from here. Actually okay. I would invalidate this and be bearish on it for another retest of your 320 lows with an hourly closure below 409 in that case. Fabs7 says SHIB, oh dear lord. And hash ribbon indicator for Bitcoin, just one at a time, man. And the hash ribbons is not going to do anything for Bitcoin right now, so it's going to be completely irrelevant. So we'll just look at SHIB for now. I guess we go to, where the fuck do we go to? Finex, Coinbase. I don't know. Bad. Still bad. Still pretty bad, man. I'm still sticking with my top call there, but where's my damn chart on this one? Here we go. Yeah, I'm still sticking with my top call here. Long term, I think this one comes down to 3,200. It actually broke below what would be your descending triangle yesterday, so I'm still looking for this one to come sideways and down, man. Bad. Just bad, man. Short term, could it bounce up? Yep. You do see an ever so slight drive of bullish divergence, so maybe like 4,700 or so. I think at most it does 5,000 to the upside, but long term, heavily bearish, and stick with all my downside calls and top calls as long as you're now below 56, or sorry, 62. So we can move down the point of failure from like 74 to 62 now, long term. Winning choice, and what's up, Youssef? Welcome to the cave as well. Winning choice 87 says ENJ USD 4 hour daily. Okay, ENJ USD. Okay, on Binance, and actually okay here. Actually okay, not bad, and not that it's not bad. It's actually quite good. Bullish as long as you're above 286, and looking for another retest of your high side of the range at 350, maybe for the next few days here. Closing above there, and I'll be looking for this one to probably enter into a new all-time high territory. Actually, let's see what the fibs suggest. I guess I'd be looking towards $4, maybe like a couple weeks, a couple weeks after that area is broken. This one's actually quite good. Very, very interesting to see. 4 hour is trending right now. Volatility is expanding, and I'm bullish on this thing, especially as long as below above about 295. Again, fellas, I gotta let you know, we already turned off the super chats for today. Unfortunately, if you did comment at or super chat after like 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago, we can't read it today, unfortunately. I do have to go to the doctor myself. Rooftop Solutions says Ben Kui. Okay, all right. Ben Kui. Sounds like some Borat would say. Ben Kui. Anyways, okay, we're looking at it versus the dollar. You give me a base pair, but not a time frame. So fair enough. Again, this one actually, long term, it actually is. I wouldn't say it's okay, but look, I'd get very excited about this thing above about 22 cents on a daily closure, looking for big moves up towards 28 to 30 cents over time. But for right now, man, I think at best it's going sideways right here. Short term, does it bounce off this level? Probably yes. Short term to 19.5 cents, but I don't know what time frame you're on, so I don't know if that's relevant towards you. Ultimately, I do think that this one will work its way a little bit further south before any sort of interesting move to the upside. In that case, maybe like 14.5 to 15. Again, fellas, please, I feel really, really bad when I can't get to everyone's chats, and we just won't be able to do them for all the chats that were submitted more than 20 minutes ago. 10-year warranty. Holy shit, man. Good to see you, brother. Good to fucking see you. Let's play Warhammer after you go to the gym, fam. Actually, when the new one comes out, I'll be back on it, man. And good to see you, brother. Good to see you. And we'll definitely do some rounds, man. That'll be some good times. I'm actually looking at Warhammer 3 as one of the more cool ones, man. And then nice, we got some new cave dwellers as well. Mr. Tom Riddle. Tom Riddle. Holy shit, it's fucking Voldemort. Sean K, welcome as well, man. And I think that does it for today. Holy moly, my friends. It's been a long stream. Another 2-hour stream, but it's all good. I'm having a good time myself, even amidst this market. But hey, that's why we're traders, man. We got to enjoy both the upside and the downside. That's the point of trading, of course. Otherwise, you're just a fucking hodler playing around with your dick hole when price action is going against you, which is not great. Anyways, again here, is Bitcoin closer to a little bit of a short-term bounce? Again, yes, I do think so. But similar to yesterday, Bitcoin failed too many, or not yet. Yeah, yesterday did in that prior range failed too many times at about 61,300. So now the targets for a bounce are obviously going to be much less than what they were before. Before they were like 63, which at some point Bitcoin probably does test around there, to be fair. But on a bounce off of this 4-hour area right here, of which we do have some bullish evidence forming, ever so slight amount. Actually, no, not on spot price action. What about on CME? Not on CME either. Jesus Christ, man, that is pathetic. Maybe we don't get a bounce right here. I would still be waiting for at least bullish divergence on a 4-hour time frame before looking for like a decent bounce. And when I say a decent bounce, I mean back up to like $59,000 or maybe even $61,000, of which things would start to look okay above there. Until then, we see several altcoins that are actually acting relatively well today. So I'd definitely pay attention to them. Those are the ones that are going to likely benefit best if and when Bitcoin does turn around. Until then, if you scroll back to the beginning of this stream, all of those things are kind of what I'm looking for as a major low and kind of when and where. So we're getting, I do think that we're getting close here, but not quite there just yet. Anywhere around the weekly 21 is kind of where I start to really start to look for like a major low. Until then, just short-term lows. And personally speaking, I'm only scalping off of those short-term lows. I'm not holding any of those short-term lows. So for what it's worth, we are just 14 hours away from confirming multiple drives of bearish divergence on the weekly right here. And, I do have to be looking lower, personally speaking, just based off of that in the next week or two to come. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. I'm going to be signing off now. I need to go to the doctor and eat a little bit of food. Elsa's waving in the background because she loves you today, but we'll be gone for the next few days and back next week. So with that in mind, take care and hopefully see you very soon.
Buy it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it, trade it, buy it, sell it, store it.
Christmas dildos moving up and down. They'll call him Crypto Krown. You've got to TA to be free. Learn how to surf in the deep Red Sea. ocean coins to the sky. From distributor into XRP.